wondered. This guy looks alive. Oh. Magnificent mustache. How playing English is 48. IG야. 응. tracking though.
Especially in our time, right? Because obviously we can speculate what the Romans were like and stuff, but no one in our time knows anyone who was ever alive during that. You know what I mean? And like, it's weird thinking that it's like going to that direction.
And it's like, you know, I always find that there's this disconnect with history, right? Where you know it happened. You know that these people existed, but they also just kind of feel like characters in a book.
That's why it's also cool having this much documentation, because like I think the older the history is, the more scarce options we have to figure out how it was, right?
So we have to like fill in the pieces ourselves.
For sure.
Well, like what I find interesting is that I have this image of my parents when they were like younger, right? And I have like stories that I've heard from like uncles and aunties and some old pictures, but at the end of the day, it's still just an image of what they were like. I don't actually know what they were like, you know. Our kids are gonna have like every single, like they're gonna have like every argument we've had about bone-in chicken, and like if my kid doesn't like chicken wings, he's gonna fucking know why.
It's like, oh, my dad's stupid as fuck.
How old is your grandma?
My
grandma's really old, right?
My grandma on my dad's side is around 97.
Okay, this is a weird thought, right? Your grandma that is 97 is, like, in age-wise, is closer to like the Victorian era than like today, like from the moment she was born, right? Isn't that weird to think that Victorian era that we think of that really quirky time? Like,
quirky. I don't know if I call it that.
Fucking weird, where they were doing weird shit. They were putting like asbestos in their wall, putting lead paint and everything. It's like, you know, it's just weird to think there are people who are alive today who are close to these really far off periods in history that we think is far off because we're born now.
Yeah.
We think 150 years ago. That's crazy. Like also there was a great video where it was like in like 1960s or 50s, this woman who was like 90. she was recounting stories of the Victorian period. Because obviously at that time it was still, still around.
Yeah,
it was still a thing, right?
Yeah.
Weird. It's just so strange.
Jeez. That's
There's
scary to think
videos
about.
of these people talking about those times. It's so strange.
Yeah, and it's weird, like you know, going back to like ancient history, it's weird to think we can't really process in our minds just how old like ancient Egypt was, you know.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point in history and you think, oh, it's all like around the same period. It's all like Roman history, Greek history, ancient Egyptian history. It's all the same because it's all history. But like isn't it like the ancient Egyptians were as old to the Romans as the Romans are to us?
Yeah,
something along those lines.
like that.
That's like some great
It's
civilization.
easy to make it feel like it's all one blur.
Yeah.
When you actually look at the time between the world.
Yeah.
I think because I think I saw something similar where it's like it was a lot like that, but like say with like the dinosaurs, right? Of like I think it's something like in our heads we think like Tyrannosaurus Rex and Stegosaurus are just like they were around the same time. Like it's it's all during the dinosaur era.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I think between the Stegosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, there's like 400 million years.
Oh no, humanity is a fucking footnote compared to how long the dinosaurs ruled the world.
But it's just so crazy to think that it's like, they're the same thing.
Yeah.
They're around the same time,
Like-
and it's just not even close.
like we like to think that we're better. Like, haha, look at these dumb animals that got wiped out by fucking meteor, bro. We've barely lived the amount of we have lived a fraction of the time they have ruled the earth.
Yeah.
And then all it took was like one fucking day, and they're like gone. You know, it's
It's because they didn't get the Lord
We
on the
also
phone,
wiped
that's
out. We wiped out more of us than anyone else. All right. No meteor can take that away from us. We killed way more of us than that fucking dumb meteor ever would have. All right.
We're just more flexing on the meteorite. Like,
We are the best at killing us,
yeah.
without doubt. No one is better than us.
that's why we're smart, just to fucking kill us.
However, if
right?
the ants decided to have an uprising, we would be fucked.
Oh, absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
the ants had decided they have had enough of being in the ground,
If the
we are
insect
done.
world decided to start a coup d'etat one day, like they can overtake us in a day.
That just fucking reminded me. Do you know something weird I've been doing in the holidays? I haven't been.
Thank
I
God.
would have been.
This is-
not.
I'm not made.
Please do not start like ants.
I've been reading a book.
What?
Like
In 2023?
like a book. Like
Wow.
words. Like not even like a light novel, like a heavy. Heavy.
Like no pictures.
Like no pictures.
Wow.
It's just a heavy novel. So
Yeah.
I've been reading this sci-fi novel called Children's Time. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. I just
Wait, no, you haven't.
I don't read, but I hear people talking about
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
it.
it's like
I've read about it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating read because I heard something about the book that kind of like piqued my curiosity because it explores the idea of like what aliens actually are and what evolution actually is, right? So the premise of this book, right, is humanity.
Like a flat Earth and conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
What is evolution? Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. So it poses this question. So the book is set in like the far future where humanity is like an advanced race or something like that. And there's this one person who just goes, let's do an epic experiment. Let's try and give monkeys this virus that speeds up evolution, put them on a planet and see what happens.
Okay.
And then eventually when they become as smart as us, I will come down and be their new god. Right?
Okay.
But unfortunately, sorry Connor, the plan goes wrong, all the monkeys dies. But what happens instead is that spiders instead get infected by this virus.
Oh.
Right? That just kind of like just speeds up evolution and speeds up evolution and knowledge. Basically. So what happens is it follows.
Why spiders? Fuck, man. That's like the worst people to get advanced.
Well, that's why spiders, because when we think of what is alien to us, like what is more
spiders, yeah,
alien
true.
to us and ununderstandable than spiders? And it's fascinating to think. For one, it cemented the realization that if aliens exist, there's no fucking way we'd be able to communicate with them or like have any resemblance to us whatsoever. Because it really like it follows this spider civilization that emerges from like, I guess, their Stone Age to their modern age, right? And it shows how different basically everything in their civilization would be from like human civilization, just based on what spiders are. So like a great example of this is like midway through the book, slight spoilers, but it's only like a small scene. Midway through the book, one of the advanced humans crash land on this planet, right? And the spiders kind of like they take this human in and they start studying this human, and they come to the conclusion that humans must be fucking dumb, man, because there's no way that there's no way that it can communicate, right? Because the way spiders communicate is they don't have ears; they communicate through vibrations. Yeah. So they form this communication system with vibrations through their webs to communicate complex ideas to each other. And this human who is barking voice, like sound vibrations to them, they're like, nah, there's no way any animal would use sound as a vibration like medium. That's dumb. Yeah. Why would people do that? Yeah. And there's no way that any animal would evolve an orifice that they use to communicate and also ingest food. That just seems suboptimal. Why would any animals do that? And the spiders come to the conclusion that humans are these dumb animals that have not like reached evolution or anything like that. And it just, there's so much about this book that like opens your mind and like makes you rethink what is it about like our society and our civilization that is based on us basically coming from fucking monkeys and everything like that. So basically, if ants do like decide to do an uprising, it's probably going to be a different kind of fucking uprising than anything that we can fucking imagine and everything like that. I don't know how we go on.
I think it's easy to think that evolution just stops because you're like, everything, I get it now. I understand how every animal is and how we are, but obviously it's been going on for millions of years and we've got to keep on going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get like fucking tails. That'd be sick.
We might grow another arm, who knows?
Yeah. I'll get a big dick. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows where humanity is going to be in like millions and millions of years?
Probably not around.
If we live as long as the dinosaurs, that would be pretty interesting.
I'd like to think the spiders are watching me and they're like, "What is he doing?" It's just me watching like, "Poo poo, stinky." Like,
it's like, damn, humans are dumb.
This must be a complicated human ritual where they. Uh-oh, stinky.
Yeah, it's just like that meme where it's just like, you know, people look back on the memes and they try to study like fucking lolcat images or something.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
This must have been some ancient religious text or something like that. Do you think that actually happened with like the ancient Egyptians?
We've done that with our own. Yeah, we've done that. I swear there've been studied cases where we thought it was something and we were so wrong multiple times. Obviously, you get more information. The world's become more connected. A lot of information that we had in English was based off like wrong accounts and also sources that weren't really great. And so now we can translate and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Not that we're doing great now.
Could you imagine if like some archaeologist was just like studying like ancient Egyptian like hieroglyphs and being like, oh, we still haven't like uncovered what this meaningful message must be because they left it on this wall, and then you go back 4,000 years and this Egyptian's just like boop boop beep beep. It's just some lorem ipsum shit, just like filling in the blanks.
Our world gets abandoned. They're like, what are these strange golden like M signs they've put everywhere? There seem to be everywhere.
There must be the cult of M.
They seem to be in every place, in mass. It seems odd. What is this? Must be just a ritual.
Must have been some ancient religion.
It must have been a really crucial part to the human's existence. You know what I mean? We found more golden M's lying around. What could it mean?
There's so many of them. What could it mean?
There's so many in this one continent, America. There seems to be a density of these golden M's.
Oh my god. Oh man. It's yeah, it would be interesting to think.
That sounds like a fucking sick book though.
Yeah.
They should make that into an anime. Then I'll
honestly, it's like if you like me,
kind of sounds like Terraformers but less anime. But like Terraformers if it was smart.
Yeah, it's Terraformers. If it like, there's so many interesting ideas. Like eventually the spiders learn how to make computers, but they learn how to make computers via programming, like ant programming, like programming ants.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Which I'm just like, I never thought about it like that, but if you could learn to program ants via, because ants have like real ants have a set of programming, right? You think about a normal ant and they're stupid as fuck, but somehow ant colonies, if you study ant colonies, they're able to do some fucking incrable things.
Well,
So what you're saying is we should-
individuals smart together.
So
Yeah,
what you're
smart
saying
together.
is we should make ant AI.
Basically,
That's the next AI, boys.
Yeah.
Someone's going to program
all you
that.
need to
That
do
wouldn't
is
be artificial. It'd be real intelligence.
Yeah, would it be real intelligence?
RI?
Or would it be real intelligence?
No, AI stands for ant intelligence.
Yeah, because when the ants see what we did to them, they're gonna be pissed. When they see all these TikToks, people owning them, bro, it's over, dude. It's over.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'm sorry, Malin. This she's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
she's
to
the
go,
first
man.
thing. They're coming for her.
the
It's
first victim
already
to
like
go.
all the pesticides, right? They already evolved to kind of be beyond it, and we're constantly chasing the next one. It's like
Yeah.
we just say we get to the point where using this pesticide is just not feasible because it's so dangerous to us.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, so many like modern inventions and everything are based on nature itself because nature has figured out how to do this. Yeah.
So they try and make like this smart machines, like engineering systems where they're based on real life structures. Because
Yeah.
like where they try and make these like kind of RC planes that are based more off like wing structure, like birds.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You know, obviously over evolution they evolved the way that works best.
Yeah.
Because one day some dude looked up at the sky, saw a bird flying, and went, "I won't do that."
Yeah, it's like, how do you like?
That's how it started.
Yeah, makes you wonder, like, would planes be any different today if birds just didn't exist, right? So we just don't have that frame of reference.
If there just wasn't an animal that could
Yeah,
fly.
because
Yeah.
it's the way that like a plane works is very different to. Well, I guess. It's
Well, they have wings, right?
well, yeah. I mean, it's. I guess what part of engineering you care about? I mean, because like we
Yeah.
just stuck a fucking explosion on there because we couldn't figure out how to do it in a way
Yeah.
that works the way that they do it. So
Yeah.
we had to strap fucking jet fuel that it burns. You know what I mean?
But like the Wright brothers didn't have that, right? They
Steam.
was it steam?
Oh no, diesel. That must be. No, it was diesel. Sorry. Was it? It was probably a diesel engine.
Yeah.
Kai, look it up.
Yeah.
It's probably a diesel engine, right?
We're getting to the point of trash taste where we're just kind of like spewing bullshit over the bare
Right, because
basic.
it was like they had a compact and lightweight enough system that made it so you could power that, right? And all you have to do is make an aerofoil, which is basically just something that just catches the most drag,
Yeah.
and then you just fucking power it forward.
gasoline powered.
You know,
All right.
Yeah.
you know, but
Small explosions all the way.
Yeah.
Humanity since the beginning. Boom. That's all we love. Everything.
They saw an explosion, they saw momentum, and they went, "What if we just attach that to something?"
But like that's how
That's how you.
it is getting closer and closer in a sense to either the amount of power we can generate and the size of electricity needs to improve a lot, or you kind of get it closer to, I suppose you can get it to like a bird wing. You can maybe get it more perfect in a sense.
Yeah.
But it depends what you want to do. Because birds can't birds a lot of the time they just flatten in place.
Yeah.
Stop. Birds don't do that.
I mean, besides
But
hummingbirds.
hummingbirds do.
Yeah, right. But then how do you
s-
like generate that?
Yeah,
Like, how do you copy
certain
that?
dragonflies and stuff.
Yeah,
You see-
dragonflies are the best flyers in like nature.
Holy shit! Like sometimes I see a dragonfly flying. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, you just reminded me. Like
I
as
mean,
a
they
kid.
mate mid-flight.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's epic.
Like it literally. Now that I think about it, I remember as a kid thinking like dragonfly flight patterns look like they're pre-programmed.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like, you know, literally like fuck. That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess depending on what kind of plane you'd want to make, whatever you need to do, pick the aerofoil, right, for it, and the kind
yeah.
of base. I guess you could. There's nothing saying you couldn't make a dragonfly-esque system. You just need it all to be balanced, and you need a way to power that much force.
Yeah.
So that'd be a lot of G's. I think if you're whipping around that fast,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't dragonflies go through like the most G force or
I'm
something
not
of any
sure,
animal or
but
something? I think
obviously
I
if
remember
you're
seeing something like that.
going from static to boom,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
We're not good at that.
Well,
Obviously,
we-
because we've got fucking legs.
And we're heavy. Dragonflies are fucking light as shit.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But also, often a lot of times, like birds and a lot of the times their skulls kind of evolve to do certain things. Like woodpeckers, they just wrap their tongue around their brain to absorb it. You know that?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
their tongue wraps around their brain.
That's
I'm trying to Google this shit.
that's crazy.
Let me.
Could you imagine if
I
we learned how to
swear.
do that?
Hummingbird.
If you like got into a car crash and you're just like, hold on, I'm gonna save myself from getting an aneurysm.
that legit.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the diagram. The tongue wraps around the brain.
Whoa, that's epic!
So like, kind of like give some kind of cushion to their brain. Because
That
like they
sounds
just
like a
nature just figures
fucked
it out.
up hentai like concept. You know what I mean? That's
What is that? Okay, explain that concept to me. Let's break it down.
There's definitely a
fund
tag
it. We'll
with
fund
just,
it
like,
right now.
brain
Tell me
leaking or something.
Tell me the plot. What's the plot?
I don't fucking know. Ask Shindo L, man.
Yeah.
He could write something.
Yeah, Shindo
That's,
can write
that's
something.
something new, man.
AI can't come up with that shit.
Yo, we fucked up humanity. We've trained an AI to like come up with shit
With
like that.
brain, with brain wrap tonguing.
brain wrapped.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm
Makes
just
me,
thinking of all different types of planes now.
it makes me wonder how did the invention of like the helicopter? How did that get like?
Dude, that's actually a fucking sick history. Because the guy who made it is a fucking psychopath. He just was like...
You have to be like. I look at the helicopter.
He was like determined to die. Like if you look at the history of like the models and how he made it, I swear one of the dudes who was trying to make it was like actually insane.
Yeah.
Like it crashed so many times,
Right.
but he just kept trying to make more because he was like dead set on it. But it's also like a genius invention, really.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I fully believe that because I look at a helicopter and you're just like that shouldn't fly. I don't know modern technology.
We're living in a simulation.
As a kid, I always thought helicopters were way cooler than planes. I was a helicopter gang all the way.
Wait,
I was team helicopter.
that's because
As
it's
a
just
kid, did
rarer.
you not have this? Like you just like when I saw like a battle helicopter.
But I think that's just purely based on the fact that like
jets, I thought were lame.
you don't see helicopters as often as planes.
Yeah. True. And all the helicopters you see kind of like lame. They're all kind of like but when you see the ones with guns, it's like oh, something in your boy brain. You're like oh, that's cool. Jets, I think it looked lame.
I think it's also just the idea of a helicopter. Let's
sick.
spin this thing so fucking
kinda
fast
sick.
that we
It's
can
kinda
fly. As a kid, I'm just like, yo,
Not just fly, but stay in
yeah,
place.
just stay in the air.
Yeah.
Planes, you're just like, it's got a fucking engine to like make it go pew pew pew. I don't fucking care about that. Let's try spinning some fucking blades to get you up in the air. That's
Yeah.
metal as fuck, man.
Yeah.
You know.
That's badass.
Yeah. Which makes it all the more funny when have you seen those videos where you see like the helicopter like taking off, but like the frame rate of the camera
Yes,
shutter
I
speed
love that.
is
Yeah.
exactly
So it just looks like it's staying still. It's just like,
So
it's like someone just turned gravity off.
yeah, it just looks like it's suspended in the air and just like going up.
The first person to discover that is a genius.
Yeah, right. Looks like a fucking Looney Tunes skit.
They're probably
you know?
looking through the camera and they're like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, it happens a lot in natural. Like, so when we're filming now, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of light flickers.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in Japan, depending on which side you're on, it's either flickering 50 times a second or
Or 60.
yeah, right. And obviously, it's
Yeah.
not actually like fully going on and off, but it's and certain times on camera, you set the hertz. If you set the shutter speed to the wrong thing, or
Yeah.
you have it on maybe a different anti-flicker mode,
Yeah.
you'll see it like the waves appearing on the.
Or sometimes
thing.
you can even actually seeing like flickering slightly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it pretty fucking bad. I've got a lot of video footage where it's happened, and you're like, God damn, it's fucking unusable because
Yeah.
it's fucking flickering.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that the human senses can't take in. There's so many like spectrums of light and everything like that. Imagine if you could see fucking infrared and gamma
That's
rays.
fucking sick. Like, I love the the mantis shrimp.
Yeah.
I fucking
Yeah.
love that. That thing's cool. I
That's
can
one
see,
of my
like,
favorite.
everything.
That's one of my favorite animals of all
For
time.
sure.
Yeah.
That's
The stories of it busting glass because it boils the air
Yeah.
in front of it.
Yeah.
God. That's
Insane.
that's
It
the
literally,
most.
it literally creates almost like a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
how
I-
fast it moves in terms of like the heat and pressure it creates. It's just like boom. It's like a sonic boom basically.
Yeah, it's sonic booms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of crazy
just-
that
I
like
just
fish
l-
could evolve to that. I
Yeah.
wish we fucking evolved to that.
Yeah.
Could
We can
fucking-
punch so
Yeah.
hard that you make a sonic boom.
I'm just I look at the mantis shrimp and I'm just like, fuck.
Where did we go
man.
wrong?
Yeah, where the fuck did we go wrong? Because like, one shrimp in history saw a clam and thought the most optimal way to get inside this clam is punching the shit out of it. And I'm like, that's
Isn't it crazy? On paper, if I asked you, Grant,
Yeah.
do you want intelligence or do you want an arm that can fucking boil air? You'd be like, I would like the arm that boils air.
Yeah.
I would like to see every color, please. Are you telling me there's more colors I can't see? And then these fucking little shrimp are just on the fucking ocean floor.
Yeah.
And then we're the ones who evolved well. Isn't that fucking dumb? Because when I'm playing, I feel about this. When I'm playing D&D, I'm like, man, obviously I'm going to spec into like wizardry or like charisma. Like, and I never put anything in intelligence because they always get it wrong in video games. Intelligence should be way more OP in video games. Right?
Yeah.
This is humanity is what happens when you try to balance out all the skill points. It's just like we just average on everything compared to the animal kingdom.
We put all of our stats into intelligence. Yeah. And we can't even appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're not intelligent enough to appreciate that. You know, we're
Like all our points in intelligence and the ability to throw things. That's pretty much everything we did.
Yeah.
And we're pretty good at running.
Yeah, well, I mean, compared to like a cheetah.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of animals can't
opposable thumbs. That's pretty fucking OP.
Yeah, a lot of animals can't run like marathons. They just
that's
flat out
true.
just can't.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
we can run for pretty long. I mean, I can't. I didn't get that.
Some of us can.
Some of us are pretty fucking
can.
good at that. I'll let them do it.
Yeah.
I expect into the intelligence tree. Sorry, sorry, don't mind me.
Do you know humans have no way of sensing wetness?
No, I heard this.
Oh,
I saw
this. Yeah, I saw this.
We just know there's like we can tell the temperature different.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the QI clip.
The QI
right?
clip.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that.
Yeah, I found that really interesting because I'm like, how many other things can't I sense, but I can just sense like
Sense a bad take when you have it, guys. That's another thing you can't say.
Sense a dark thought before you're about to say it. We haven't built those receptors yet.
I can sense whether a fart is going to smell or not before I fart. That's
Really?
It. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident in it. You're like test it. That.
Man, what's your source?
I made it the fuck up. I feel like I just know. I just know when a fart is going to smell.
okay, this is gonna
Something
sound,
in my bowels
Can-
tells me.
Do you feel like you can tell if someone's looking at you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do we feel like we can tell? Like I've had points where I've been like asleep or just like napping or something, and I'm like, someone's looking at me. I look up and someone is.
I think going
Wait,
back.
who's that someone?
Okay, well that's bullshit. First of all, I think that's just coincidence.
Probably is
But
coincidence.
I think we take a note to like again. I think we said this on previous episodes. We're like we're extremely socially focused animals.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like an evolutionary trait that's kind of been like malfunctioned a little bit, where we're like I guess we kind of still need it, but we don't need to be as socially accepted as we once needed to.
Yeah.
So we're very attentive to anything social for the most part. So I think when people are staring at us, we're really apparent of it, and we're really bad at even like thinking, "Was Gaunt just staring at me?" I feel like Gaunt was just staring at me.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just looking in my direction. I saw it in the corner of my eye.
Or it's kind of like how
you
we
know what I
can
mean? You
sense.
overthink it.
Yeah, we can kind of sense if like someone is feeling
Again,
a certain way, or like if a situation is uncomfortable.
That's my bullshit theory. That could be totally wrong. I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from. Is that we're very, very in tune with being socially accepted.
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
group.
like
So we wanna know
if
who's
you ask
staring at
any
us.
other animal, it's like, so can you tell if that prawn is feeling a
They
little
wouldn't fucking care.
uncomfortable? Then they'll be like,
Yeah.
no, I don't give a fuck. What does that mean? Why would you need to sense that?
God, dogs are fucking cute, though. I wonder if a dog knows. A dog knows I'm staring at it. He knows.
It
Oh, a
definitely-
dog knows.
A dog knows.
A dog knows, yeah.
knows.
I just want to pet a dog. I just want to pet a dog now. So I want
It
a
always
dog.
knows. It always like a dog can always tell. Like when you're like giving it some attention, you could be on the other side.
My
of the
my
room.
See,
my
the
dog,
dog-
my
okay.
dog,
boy, I'm ready for some
my
attention.
dog used to do that when it was just like kind of just sitting there, just like staring off into blank space. Sometimes I would just look at my dog because I'm like, you're a good boy, you're a
Yeah.
pretty boy, and
Okay.
then sometimes the dog would just kind of do this like. Like look over at me, be like, "What? What do you want?"
every time, like I'm torn right in my head on whether I think God exists, because I'm like, okay, God makes stuff that kills children. I'm like, that's pretty fucked up. But then we also have videos like dogs cuddling people who are sad. And I'm like, well, how do you explain that? Why the dog evolved to know when we're sad and it helps us. That's pretty. I feel like somebody must have helped that out. Come on.
Yeah.
We don't deserve that. Look what we've done in history. Do we really deserve that? We don't.
Maybe we should not think of God as this omnipotent being
Yeah,
that
true.
knows everything. Maybe if there is a God in this world, they can make mistakes. And I'm just saying, Dob, like when they created the dog, that was like, this is the biggest W of my fucking life, man. I'm
When
not
they made
going to
Endgame,
get
they-
finest work. I'm not going to get a fatter W than dogs. I'm like, whoo!
This is the only reason why we accept NTR, like because dogs exist. I think we'd all be done. I think that would have been the final straw.
There needs to be an
honestly.
equal evil to create an equal good,
Dogs
right?
has bought this omnipotent power so much time, quite
Yeah.
frankly. You know, and and people who are allergic, they got done dirty by the game of life.
yeah.
And then fucking, like, God was listening to fucking Metallica one day, and I was like, fucking mantis shrimp, man. I'm going to make one of those, man. Let's fucking do it.
There's some whack shit that has been like evolutionized. So you're like, that is interesting.
Like what?
The mantis shrimp is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
You're like, this feels like the most over-engineered
Oh,
evolution to a problem, right? Like, right? Like you think about it, you're like, this feels like we spec far too much for no reason.
It's like, I look at the mantis shrimp. The reason I love the mantis shrimp is I don't think it's the most optimal way to achieve what you want to achieve, which is get food.
Yeah.
But I respect the fact that you committed so hard to this one solution.
Yeah, like you look at, an animal, like a highly intelligent animal like an octopus, right? That is
Yeah.
like, all right, it can problem solve, it can like, figure out more intelligent ways to catch its prey, like camouflage or like
Yeah.
tricking its prey. Meanwhile, mantis shrimp is like, I punch hard, I destroy.
I like the fact that for some reason, obviously it makes sense evolutionary wise, but just owls can just fucking turn their head mostly all the way around.
Yeah.
That feels like the owl was kind of being a little lazy. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the owl could have maybe just turned around a little bit. Just, all right, you know.
It's like, no, I'm not moving my
Do
body.
we really need
at
to
all.
turn on? Like, if I could turn my head all the way around, do I really need that? I feel like I don't know. Man.
To be honest, if someone asked me, hey, would you want
This
the
is very
ability
much, this
to
is very
turn...
much a shower thought.
Yeah.
by the
Yeah,
way.
would you want the ability to turn your head almost 360 degrees?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know when I'd use it, but sure. Why not?
What I want to know is, we talk about like animals and food chain, and even if you don't like an animal or
We
something.
love talking about animals.
Yeah.
We love animals, man.
Because animals are fucking
Animals
weird.
are sick.
Yeah, animals are sick. Having said that, is there a single redeeming quality of a mosquito? Or can we remove mosquitoes and
I'm
there-
sure something
there-
will be affected.
there be no adverse effects at all?
I think I remember seeing like some videos about that. Of, like some like experts argue that we can, but with like a little bit of a deficit to the food chain. And then there are others that say like, no, it will just completely.
If,
crumble the
if
food
we've
chain.
learned anything, we are really fucking bad at getting involved with this shit and trying to control nature. We historically have a terrible track record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just pretty bad at it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the sentiment. And we shouldn't.
It's just like, what if we just make this animal extinct? It won't fuck with the food chain, right? And the animal kingdom's like, what are you doing? Stop! I know they're delicious,
this
but
omnipotent
please.
power is like, I
stop
made
it."
this chain very precisely and you're fucking it up.
I just want to know if there's any animal, anything that has something positive to say about mosquitoes. Or do animals hate mosquitoes? I'm sure even spiders like, I eat them, but...
But I can eat flies too.
I
you
can
know?
eat flies, I can live without mosquitoes,
Yeah.
I
don't know.
It's just-
I don't know, hard to say, man.
Is there anything cooler than a mantis shrimp?
I don't think so.
I'm Googling this now. Coolest animals.
Well, there's that video of the guy who was like out fishing in a canoe, and he accidentally fished up a mantis shrimp, and it quickly like flicked him in the toe, like just like
He broke it.
and it
right?
broke his toe,
Yeah. I saw that.
and he's like ah, and then he like releases it back in, and like his foot is bleeding, and then later on he's like, I'm in the hospital because my toe is broken. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? That's insane.
That's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think I've evolved to just drink tea.
It's just British, isn't it?
I was on the plane back from my Christmas break, and I swear to God, it was embarrassing the amount of tea I drank. I just kept asking for more tea, and they were like, they came around, and they were like, tea? Bring it. I think I drank like 15 cups of tea.
Holy fuck.
Isn't that insane?
Why?
Is that?
Because I was just, I was thirsting for some hot liquid. Hot water liquid.
Why you gotta make it sound weird?
I'm just
man?
saying, it's what I like, all right?
Honestly, ever since moving to Japan, I drink far too much green tea. I don't know. Can you drink too much green tea? Because I'm
Yes.
definitely drinking.
I
too
mean,
much.
it's got caffeine.
You
in it,
actually
so-
can drink too much tea. There's some there's a few chemicals in it that are pretty bad if you drink it like all the time, all day. But like anything that's like that, right? If you ate just fucking ham,
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be bad. If you ate just lettuce, you'd have nothing out, right? I mean, everything in moderation generally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, how much tea is like too much tea? You know?
I'm definitely surpassing it. I'm pretty sure. But that's a problem for future me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the now. You know, I'm trying to worry about that.
That's the video you should make 5 years from now, being like,
Hey,
hope the tea didn't kill
Hey,
you.
Yeah.
sorry about that. You know how it is. You're stubborn.
You should film it while you're sipping a cup of tea. It's like, I bet you're mad.
Yeah. That's like a fault in like human evolution. We are so inadequate in we can process problems that will happen in our future, but we're so inadequate in caring about it. You know? Like
Yep, that's why global warming has been.
Yeah, right? I was just about to say, like, climate change activists are like, first time.
yeah, like hey, your body is going to deteriorate if you don't exercise and keep healthy every day and eat good, and you're like, yeah, but one more hamburger, right? One more burger won't hurt
Literally
me.
every person who smokes cigarettes is just like, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but that's future me to decide. I'm enjoying it right
the fact
now.
that it takes so much energy just to like care about it and change your life for the better, it just yeah, something's wrong with the brain.
We're creatures
man.
of habits, man. When we
Yeah.
get in a habit, it's hard for us to kick
Clearly,
it.
we didn't put enough points into intelligence. Because we still haven't got past that.
We've programmed our brain to work in the best way it can, and it's got a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right? I mean, I didn't program. I'm fucking lazy. That's someone else did that. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
We're pretty dumb.
You think we are?
We're pretty fucking dumb.
We're all some pretty fucking dumb apes just floating through a rock through space.
Apes have it good. They stopped at the right time, evolution-wise. I think they're chilling.
Elaborate.
Having a great time. Well, they get to have all the, that orangutan got to drive that golf cart in that one video.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't have to get a license. He didn't have to go to the DMV. I think he got the best part of evolution, which is like sit back, relax, eat bananas, chill out, and then get to drive a golf cart.
Dude, I'm just jealous they get to flick their turds without any repercussions, man. Like,
Sure.
I wish. That's my dark thought for the
apes
week.
too far. We should have stopped at dogs. Dogs. I
I don't think we evolved from dogs.
We didn't evolve from dogs.
doesn't matter. Evolution.
Just
should
a
have-
world of dogs. The
Evolution
council of
should have
dogs.
stopped at dogs, man.
The Council of Dogs.
There's nothing more pure than just a dog.
That's
I
true.
think a dog.
Would
Does-
dogs, if the world was only dogs, would dogs be friendly to each other? I don't think they would. Isn't that sad? Maybe the dogs wouldn't be
Hard
good
to
boys.
say.
Hard to say.
Maybe
What
the
if-
reason
you're
why.
assuming every dog is a good boy, God. And
Maybe the reason why dogs ended up evolving as wholesome and awesome as they did is because of the filthy human.
Dogs just exist.
we tempered and it worked for once.
That was when it worked.
We did a massive W for once.
What about cats?
They already own the world. It's already
Cats pull the strings from those
We
shadows.
already
Everyone
have-
knows this.
Cats
we
are like
already
cats.
live in their world. God.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's since the beginning of the Egyptian age, we've worshipped fucking cats, man.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is about cats that we can't help but just gravitate towards. Since ancient times, humanity has not changed.
They're cute.
They're
That's
like
it.
cats could be like the biggest fucking assholes in the world, and humans are like, I fucking love you and I would die for you. And they are completely right.
Cats are literally the
Humans do that
cigarettes
to
of
other humans. Like
Cat-
you're a giant piece of shit, but I love you.
Cats,
I never stop.
like cats are basically the cigarettes of the animal world. They're just like, I know this thing is absolutely horrible, but god damn, I can't stop. I can't stop.
No, I when I was at Ludwig's house, I got to stroke Coots, and that was a very cute cat.
I thought that sentence was
No,
going over.
no,
very
I got to
I would lie. I would
Oh,
lie. I did get to do that too. I was lying down, and then Coots would just jump on me, and he would
Yeah.
just want, a good cuddle. And I thought, all right,
Yeah.
cats are the best.
I'll allow it.
I've allowed you to exist.
We have this cat in my house in England. That's not our cat. It's our neighbor's cat.
Okay.
But it's really our cat. Okay.
It's the streets cat.
We don't know what her name is. For some reason, Sydney named her Scarlet Joe, and then that name just stuck because whenever she shouts it, the cat just comes running. So I don't know what your cat's name is. Sorry, Mrs. Neighbor, but it's Scarlet Joe. And this
appropriate.
yeah, this she's too fucking smart because she knows. Here's the thing, right? We're simple creatures. We just want to give them pets and give them love, right? They're cats. We just want to give them pets and give them love. Scarlet Joe knows the exact right amount of pets that she's willing to give for, like, say, no more pets. You're not allowed it.
Right.
And then she knows that we fucking crave it. So, like, anytime we look like we're, like, you know, a bit more disinterested than usual, she goes, "Now, have a pet." And we're like, "Fuck. Are you giving me a pet?" And she just lets us pet her, and she goes, "All right, enough." And we're like, "Fuck! I want to pet you more now.
Dude,
I want to pet you more."
Dude, she is in full control.
Fuck. I know the worst thing is I know she is, but I can't stop it. Okay, okay. If she wants pets, I'm going to give it to her, and God fucking damn it, like it's just.
I'm telling you, man, like cute animals are just like, they just get the pass.
She's an evil fucking being. She's evil, man. She's a manipulative, evil fucking being. And you know what?
But I love her.
But I am this close to fucking abducting her from our neighbors, man.
Who needs to? She was coming to you.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, exactly.
She is. When she knows when we haven't been when we've come back from like a long trip from like Japan or something like that. Every first day, she's always like so loving and so everything. We feel love her back home, and then every other day after that, she just goes back to normal. All right, you've had your time now. I'm just gonna sit here and just judge you.
I don't want to give you too much serotonin.
Yeah. No more serotonin for you, sir.
Oh man.
What was your cat like when you grew up?
Yeah, I had a few cats.
Few.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had. Well, when I was born, we had 2. But like my parents had 3 the whole time. Pocky and Little Guy. It was weird because it's like when you have 2 cats living in the same house, you really see the personality differences.
Right.
Right. Because like when you just see a cat by itself, it's like, okay, you know, you can discern maybe some like personality traits of the cat, right? From different cats that you know. But like when it's 2 cats next to each other, it really is like night and day.
Yeah.
So like I think like I mean I don't remember a whole lot because I was really young, but like I remember like Little Guy was definitely the asshole in the family. He would do this thing where like I don't know if he had like memory problems or whatever, but like we would feed him, and then literally 30 minutes later he'd come back and be like, "Where the fuck's my food?" and just start meowing.
I do that.
And just start meowing at my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, "Bitch, I've just fed you. Leave me the fuck alone." And he'd just be like, "No, I'm still hungry. Give me my fucking food." Meanwhile, Pocky is like out on the veranda just being like, "Thank you for the meal, father. That was absolutely delicious. I saw some of this stuff, bro. Let me, you can pet me now. You can come and pet me. I'm full, I'm satisfied. Come hither." Meanwhile, Little Guy's just being like, "I'm still hungry. Give me my food. Where is it?" And it's just, I don't know, like, I loved both cats equally for, like, different things, but it's just, like, it really does just show, like, how these animals just have, like, really just distinct personalities. And it's, like, and it's dope, you know, like, even, like, when we used to have, like, a lot of birds as well, right? Like, my parents currently own, like, a cockatiel right now. And, like, compared to the last cockatiel we had, this one is a million times more of an asshole. But it's like, it's forgivable because it's cute. And the couple of times that it falls asleep in your hand, it's like, you know what? All the bite marks you gave me over the years, worth it for
I'll
this.
allow it.
I'll allow
One
it.
thing I've always wondered about birds. Why don't they just fly away?
What do you mean?
Like, what's stopping them from just flying away?
Oh, I mean, our last cockatiel flew away.
Yeah, right? I think it's like,
Yeah.
is there a point where the bird goes, hold on a second, you could just fly and never come back?
Or actually, our first cockatiel, Ziggy, he actually flew away. But then he flew into, because, we live next to a national park.
Yeah.
He flew out, but then got confused to be like, holy shit, where am I? Because we could actually see him circling around, trying to find us. And then what he ended up doing was he just nosedived into the forest. And so my dad and I went out to actually go and find him, hoping that he didn't fly off somewhere.
Yeah.
And after like a 20-minute search, we heard him. We could hear him chirping.
Oh.
And I looked up at this tree, and he's just like perched on top, just like looking down, and be like, "Motherfucker, help me!"
Like, where the fuck
Where
am I?
the fuck have you been?
If I saw the bird go, I'd be like, "Yeah, we're not getting that."
Yeah. So the original plan was like my dad took off his jacket and was just like, "All right, call him down." Like to know that we're here, and then the moment he like lands anywhere, I'm gonna put the jacket on top and like wrap him up so he doesn't like freak out and fly away somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the original plan. So like we're calling him down. He's like looking down, being like, "Is it safe? Is it safe?" And he flies down. And he lands on the shoulder. And as soon as my dad was about to put the jacket on him, I was like, "No, I don't think we should," because this motherfucker was gripping onto my shoulders like no tomorrow. It was like, it was hurting. It's just like, I am not leaving your shoulder. So what ended up happening was, it was like a 20-minute walk back to the house.
Yeah.
He just fucking stayed there
Well, that's cool.
and just didn't move. He was just like, "Take me home right now, please."
So like, what the normal, like, why do birds not fly away sometimes? Like, why they just, do they ever come back? Do they, like,
Well, I think it depends on like how the bird was raised. So like if it was raised in captivity its entire life, then it doesn't know the concept of flying away,
okay.
right? But if it's say from like, you take it from like the wild, then obviously they're going to be more prone to be like, "Why am I in this fucking room? I'm going out
Do
there,
some
bro."
birds like just fly away like for like a day or two and then just come back? Is it like a thing for like some birds?
I
I have
think-
no idea how it is to own a bird as a pet.
I think for some birds, yeah. I mean, it depends obviously on how long
Yeah.
you've like kept. Well, it's like dogs as well, right?
Like,
Like some
yeah.
dogs run away, but then there are accounts of a couple of days later the dog just shows up in your front porch, and it's just like, "Hi,
What I miss?
Yeah, what did I miss?
What Karen do this time? man?
Whereas like some dogs just run away and you never see them again, right? So I
Yeah.
think it just depends on like the attachment factor of the animal.
Yeah, I guess dads do that too.
Yes.
So I guess it's not unique to birds and dogs.
Yeah.
You needed an AI to stop that.
Yeah, I like how I'm like, oh yeah, it's just birds that do that.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's like no, all living creatures do that.
My dad.
Yeah, so it's like it was really fascinating that that even with birds, because I never had that concept of like birds having that idea, right? Because I was kind of the same as you when I first started owning a bird, of like, oh, we have to be careful every time we open
like
the
the
door
bird
because
owners
they
just
might
like-
just fucking fly away.
Yeah, bird owners just like scout every fucking like crevice of the house to make sure
Yeah.
they can't escape.
But then there are some places where like you could like interact with like an owl or like an eagle or like a bigger bird,
Yeah.
and they're not attached to anything, but they're
that's
just like chilling out, and they're just like they could fly away at any time, but they're just like, no, you know what, I like it here. I think I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I've never owned a bird before, but I have seen them grow up. This is just a really weird story that this talk has just reminded me of. So when I was living in Thailand, my house in Thailand is like over like a pond kind of thing. We have a pond next to our.
Expanded.
It's
Stop flexing.
It's a pond, Con. Okay, we get it. You have a pond, right?
It's Thailand. Okay, well, no, we live on like the outskirts of Bangkok, so it's like a bit more in nature. And near near the rooftop and everything like that, or just on the balcony, birds would like to make nests and everything like that. And so in my office in Thailand, I sit right next to a window that has a really, really good view of the place where birds would love to make their nests and everything like that. And so one bird made a nest that was kind of like right next to my window, almost next to my window, right? So I saw basically that a bird had made a nest, and like I saw that she had laid some eggs, and some nice birds, like some baby birds had hatched. And every day I would come down and I would see them, I'm feeding them, and slowly I would see them grow up. And I will never forget this point, because I would see them every single day. I saw these little chicks grow up, and I'm like, like that. And there's a day where I saw their first flight, right? Where I saw that first flight, and it was interesting for me because I've never seen how birds just learn to fly, right? Initially, I just thought, okay, instinct, they just know how to fly. Nope, they that doesn't happen actually, or at least that's not what I saw. So actually, the mother helps to teach them how to fly, right? So what happens is, here's me, like I'm sitting out my window. There's the nest. Is the mother flies to like the little, it flies to my window and it's like chirps at the chicklets. It's like, come here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you how to fly. Come on. You can do it. And initially the chick's like, all right, I can do this. Immediately does it, right? And then, but then I think something just clicked in his brain to be like, oh, that was scary actually. I was in the air, and mind you, between my window and where the nest was just pond. It was just water, right? So if they fall, they're fucking drowning.
Yeah.
Right? And so the mother flies back to the nest, and she continues chirping for the chicklet to fly back to the nest. Doesn't do it. 1 minute
Mom, I'm not doing that again.
1 minute passes, doesn't do it. Mom flies back, flies through the nest again, chirps again. 3 minute passes, doesn't do it. The chicklet looks at his mum and and then after the mum chirped really loudly this one time, chicklet just stands on the edge, looks at his mum, shits himself. I'm not joking.
I get it, can't fly on a full-
I'm
full
not
tank.
joking. I'm looking at this bird. His mum's like chirping. He shits himself, and then he takes off, and it's a low takeoff. And at this point, I'm invested in this bird because I'm thinking to myself, if this bird falls in, I'm running out of my office and I'm diving into this pond to save this bird.
Yeah.
I see this bird growing up. This bird ain't dying on his first flight. And what happens is he takes off, but he's too low. He's like flapping his wings, and what happens is the nest is perched up there. He hits the little balcony before the nest, and then he like panically like
Tries to grab
on, flaps his wing. I was like halfway through running out, but luckily he just got enough elevation to get his foot on the nest, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I'm so fucking proud of you, man. That's it.
That's my boy.
That's my boy right there, man. I'm fucking proud of him.
It's cute. It's a cute story.
Had to clean the bird shit off my balcony afterwards, but you know, it was worth it.
Yeah. Shits himself. Proceeds to fly.
I just shit the fear out of myself. Could you imagine if humans could do that? It's like, I'm so scared and I don't want to do this thing. Let me just shit the fear out. It's like, all right, I'm good.
I'm empty. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. In that moment, I realized us and birds, we're not so different. When we fear shit, when we fear stuff, we want to shit ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Birds just do it.
Birds just commit.
Birds just commit. You know. They don't care. They just shit themselves if they're scared.
We say I'm shitting myself. The bird actually shits itself.
What a wholesome story. I feel what a wholesome way to end it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of wholesome though, look at all these lovely patrons.
So you good?
Yeah, they're wholesome.
So,
They're wholesome as hell because they're supporting us.
yes. Do you own a cat? Do you own a dog? Tell us how wholesome they are, or tell us how
Funny stories down.
Yeah,
evil.
give us some wholesome pet stories if
Yeah.
you have any. We'd love to hear it. But hey, if you'd like to support the show, then make sure to go up to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And what a wholesome episode it was. Well, it wasn't a wholesome episode. It was a weird episode.
This was another weird Trash Days episode. Also, if you were in Hawaii during the alert and you confessed, to your crush, please tell us the story.
Yeah, please.
I'm genuinely
I wanna
curious.
Any confession.
Any confession.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious what the outcome of that was.
Yeah.
But that has been this week of Trash Taste. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I got into some voice acting work where I worked for a cult here in Japan. When you hear their voices, you have to imbue
Matrix in 2 minutes.
And I'm hacking.
Hack faster.
You gotta find me more time. You gotta stall 5 minutes. It's
Hold
loading.
on, I'm hacking into the mainframe.
Reach the firewall.
Almost got it.
Welcome to the Trash Taste Podcast. Join us as we dive into the world of underrated, overlooked, and misunderstood media. From B-movies to forgotten albums, we'll be exploring the gems hiding in plain sight and give them the appreciation they deserve. So whether you're a connoisseur of trash or just looking for something different, this is the podcast for you. Let's get started.
Oh my god!
You know what?
That's amazing.
We need to use the term connoisseur of trash more often.
Connoisseur of trash.
So
Hello,
yes,
my fellow connoisseurs of trash.
Connoisseurs of Trash. This episode is brought to you by AI.
Yes.
Every topic in this podcast is going to be AI related because it's been a
mean
big
AI
topic.
generated?
AI generated.
AI
so,
generated.
we are not going to come up with any topics of our own because
Yep.
why would we? We have AI for that now. So
If we want to
yeah.
go on a tangent, the AI will decide when we will go on the tangent.
I
Yeah.
guess I should crack open our first topic.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, go
Just
for it,
jump
man.
right
Go for
into
it.
it.
Just
Okay.
jump right into it.
We've got a lot here in Trash Con. All right. So our first topic for today is anime dads. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay.
Let me talk about the bad.
Okay.
Fucking Goku. All right,
okay, well,
can we talk about how
sure.
shit of a dad
Sure.
Goku is? Bro,
Pretty shit.
did he like raise his child at all?
I think you could say this about most anime dads,
Yeah.
to be fair.
At least Goku was there.
Most anime dads just don't exist,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, because there's so many bad anime dads. Let's talk about the GOAT anime dads first. Who are the like greatest anime dads of all time?
The greatest anime dads?
Like I'm trying to think of anime dads and I can't. I
Are
can't think of
there
any.
good anime dads? I'm trying to think. Who raised their child?
Oh.
Okay,
Okay, it's a niche one, but did you ever watch Sweetness and Lightning?
Yes.
That's a golden anime
I
dad.
did not watch that.
Oh, fuck. You've just opened up an entire...
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that. You've just opened up an entire fucking door for me now. Like fucking everyone with a cute little daughter, like Spy X Family.
Yep.
I guess yeah. What's his name in Spy Family?
Lloyd?
Lloyd.
Lloyd. Yeah, Lloyd
Yeah, yeah.
Forger.
Lloyd Forger, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
funny that they're like a fake family and then they're more wholesome than most like real anime families.
They're more put together than most families.
Yeah, right.
The thing I find most unbelievable about Spy Family is that he hasn't hit it yet. That's just like
That's true.
That makes no sense.
It's not part of the mission.
I
you
know it's not part-
It's
I'm
not part of
just
the
saying-
mission, Connor.
It's a side mission.
What? I just want a spin-off where it's just like he gets a new mission. It's just like breed, make more children. It's like, oh shit,
We
all
need
right.
more children and make it more convincing. Don't adopt. It looks. Have a pregnant wife. It looks more realistic. Oh,
Yeah, dude.
honey, I gotta get you pregnant. It's for the mission.
Dude, Sweetness and Lightning, I remember the part that I not the part, just like the thing that I absolutely loved about that show. Have you watched Sweetness and Lightning?
No, no, no.
Okay, so it came out a few years ago, obviously, because I watched it. But it's basically,
It's gotta be 5+ years old.
but it's basically, it's a slice of life, right?
Yeah.
It's a slice of life show,
that's cool.
essentially where there's this really cute, like I think she's like
All the
maybe,
best dads are in slice of life.
yeah,
To be honest.
there's like this 5 or 6 year old daughter. The mum is dead. I mean, it's like it's literally it's not a spoiler. It's literally the first scene. Mum is dead,
Okay.
and it's basically a dad trying to come to terms with raising their only daughter. But the daughter is like really, I guess, like even though she's super young, she's like I think she's like 4 or 5 years old or something, right?
Yeah.
She like and obviously they go through the hardships of like being a single parent and stuff like that, and being a single dad. But the daughter is so fucking supportive and wholesome to the dad that every dude who watched that show was just like, I want a daughter like you. You are like the golden child of children that I want to have, and it's so fucking
God,
cute.
you've just reminded me of something. I think the manga or show that started this entire like wholesome dad-daughter relationship trend. Talking about good dads, what about Usagi?
I never watched Usagi Drop.
I mean, it's good. Look, good is a subjective term. He's a great dad
Can I
at the
get a-
beginning.
can I get a TLDR?
Super
Yeah.
degenerate dad near the end.
Okay, so I'm gonna spoil Usagi Drop. It's fucking.
I'm never gonna watch it. Go ahead.
It's years
Yeah.
old. If you haven't watched Usagi Drop, I doubt you would have watched it.
Yeah.
I doubt this is going to change anything now. But Usagi Drop, the anime, fucking great.
Yep.
You see this wholesome father-daughter relationship where I can't remember the exact concept of it, but I believe the daughter is like he adopts this daughter, and it's the anime is this exploration of him learning how to be a dad, and kind of like fathering this adopted daughter and learning feelings and stuff. And then it goes on. Learning some wholesome feelings.
Yep.
Some wholesome
really nice.
feelings.
I'm not going to watch it. That sounds
Yeah,
It's really
and
nice.
then, And then people went on to read the manga, which was, it was very, very wholesome until like kind of like the ending, because obviously because the manga is way more longer running than the anime went. The daughter grows up, and she discovers that she has developed feelings for her adopted father.
Yeah.
And
Why can't we get anything that's normal?
Basically, the creator, I think, read Orimo and went, "Yeah, let's do that."
So many mangakas just having like a dark arc where they just become fucking weird.
Because the thing is, this was a really like, unironically, like a wholesome, innocent show.
It was a really good show.
It was
What the
so,
fuck?
it was
most
so
part.
wholesome and innocent
Yeah.
about this father-daughter relationship, and then
Yeah.
the ending comes, and you're like, no, please don't.
You have to question the state of the author.
Yeah.
You're like, what's
Yeah.
happening in your head? What was going on with this? This felt like the right story.
You know what? Like something like this, I could accept if it was like a hentai or something
Yeah.
degenerate. I can accept that. I've seen worse things in hentai.
But don't give me, like-
every other fucking other stepmother is like fucking their child. at this point
Stepmother's
in-
different. All right? It's different. It's different.
Oh yeah, stepmother.
It's different. You wouldn't get it.
But like, don't give me like 10 volumes of some of the most cute,
Yeah, no, that's
wholesome,
fucking
like
weird.
family coming of age story, and
Yeah.
then just turn around and be like, what if we just like made it official,
Yeah,
but in a completely different relationship?
yeah.
And everyone was like, because I remember reading the manga as well, because I watched the anime first, and I was like, this is great, but I heard there was a continuation.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, sick. Bought all the volumes, reading it. I'm like, okay, this is great, super cute. And then
Yeah.
it literally happens in like the last maybe 4 or 5 chapters, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
is this like a spin-off I read? Like, what happened?
because the worst part is, right, because at first it's just like the daughter, like realizing her feelings, and you're like, please don't let this be like the arc and the direction the story's going. And I think the moment where I kind of like just threw the manga on the floor was just when, okay, the daughter is fucking young, she didn't know what the fuck she's doing,
Yeah.
but then like the father accepted as well. I'm like, no! You're meant to be the mature one here.
The one time you had to be an adult, you were just like, nah.
Yeah.
So it's secretly a big debate for grooming.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You get it's just one big
Yeah,
grooming show.
yeah, it's one big grooming manga, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, so we've decided to do a telling of the priest story from the side of the priest, where he becomes,
Yeah.
it's just like what? A good dad. Is Aaron Yeager's dad a good dad? Is he,
Good is
subjective.
Okay, do you believe that there are some kids that are just doomed from the beginning, where it doesn't matter how good the dad could be, where the child is just a spawn of Satan? Where it
Yeah.
can't- do you believe that exists?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Would you say Aaron Yeager falls into that?
Most likely, I'd say.
This
yeah.
is complicated. We can make this entire podcast
Okay.
of was Aaron Yeager right?
Discuss. Just have the Fortnite meme. Is Fortnite? Okay.
Aaron Yeager was never
Okay,
wrong.
fine. Also, I don't want to spoil it. People who haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another character then I'll pitch to you. Is Kirito's dad a good dad?
Kirito's dad.
Even though he wasn't there, but is he a good dad for raising Kirito?
Like how so?
It turned out it's Kirito. Is that did he do the job? Or would you,
Are you talking about Kirito's dad or Kirito as a dad?
Kirito's dad. Wait, oh yeah, Kirito was a dad too.
Yeah, Kirito is also a dad.
who adopted with Yui with fucking Arsenal. Right?
I blocked that from my memory.
Yeah, same
I didn't
here.
know
I
about-
completely forgot.
That's because that's the moment where Eso went to shit. That's
Yeah.
why.
very early on.
Yeah, very early on.
Yeah, Kirito has a dad. Did you know that? Did you know that?
I don't
Does
see
he
him.
actually make an appearance?
Yeah.
Really?
Is he good?
Wait,
yeah.
when?
Huh?
When?
In Alice's Asian.
Oh, okay, that's why. I don't know.
Because spoiler alert, I've actually been watching Sword Art Online.
What the fuck?
I've actually, because I actually had
Christ.
this realization the other day that I've watched every piece of like Sword Art Online media that has been released in anime form.
Disgust me.
And
Thought you're better than that guy.
yeah, it was weird because at the end of Alicization, there's a moment where Kirito has a scene with his mother and father to be like, I think I know what I want to be and what I want to pursue growing up. And I'm like, fuck me, it took 70, like 100 fucking episodes to get to this point. What the fuck? We're actually doing this now?
What are the
So wait, yeah. So what kind of
Supportive or-
parents are they?
They're normal parents.
Oh,
They're-
Yeah, of course they are.
Actually, they were just like, can you please decide what the fuck you want to do with your life?
That's
and not
good.
just,
That's
not
good
just piss
parenting.
your life away with video games. I know you're like an epic game. Gamer, but please choose a career path. And I'm like, you know what? I can actually kind of respect that.
Someone had to say it. Someone had to be like, Kirito, being a beta is not a viable career option. I'm sorry. That's not a thing.
Yeah, actually, there's this one scene at the end of Alice's Asian where his mom's just like, next time you go into a fucking game that could like kill you, can you like tell us first? Like, this is the third time this has happened. Are you please just fucking tell us next
reckless.
time? What are you doing?
Just find a better way to end it.
Like,
all right?
okay,
It's like, do you know how we had to explain to the doctors where we had to carry you into the hospital with a fucking gaming headset on?
yeah, okay, like you get addicted to VR chat once. Okay, I can understand. The third fucking time it happens, you almost die from this, and you don't tell us this shit. Please tell us.
Oh my god.
Actually, like on
Becomes a VR chat mute.
yeah.
In like when he's 40.
Yeah, on the topic of like Usagi drop and like degenerate dads and stuff like that, there's I remember like recently there was an anime that was just the opposite of that, I think.
Okay.
I think the anime was called like Higehiro, and I really I really hope that the manga hasn't gone some sussy route, right? Because,
Well, I mean, it's originally a light novel, so it's probably going to go down the sussy route.
because the thing that I liked about that was it's a show where a guy basically picks up this runaway like middle school, high school girl, and
It's literally the start to every hand.
yeah, and you watch the first episode and you're like, this is very, very sus.
Yep.
This is I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. And then it turns out every time like the girl tries to be even remotely sexual, he's just like, get away from me, child. I am not interested in children. And I'm just like, man, is this the standard we have in anime where someone's
that's
saying
commendable?
Yeah, someone's saying, no, child, get away from me. I do not find you interesting. That's like commendable now in anime. Now I was just like, damn, this is a really original route that this anime has gone down, man.
I mean, to be fair, it kind of is. Like, and that's kind of the sad thing, right? It's like, if you see an otaku, like, resist that urge, it's just like, oh, wow, all right. He gets bitches. Whoa, all right. He's different.
You mean he's picking up this runaway high school girl just to help her? Just to be like
that doesn't
just
exist.
to be a good Samaritan?
Yeah.
What?
And then the girl is like, why are you gay?
Anything else a good dad? Is Subaru's dad from ReZero a good dad? I think he's pretty good, right?
He's not in the show.
Yeah, he has a
What-
motivational moment with him. He's like, go on, kid, don't suck.
That was like
Don't say-
in
that
his
was
like
flashback,
that
yeah.
was like in his
Yeah.
mind though, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
was
Yeah, maybe it was in his mind, but does that count as a dad? If it's a dad,
It's like an imaginary dad.
That's like the dad
What if
you
the imaginary
wanted.
dad has more impact on your life than the real dad? Okay,
That's true.
Who are the
Okay.
worst dads in anime?
Oh, let's fucking go, man.
Shinji. Shinji's dad.
Shinji's dad, Gendo, that's the
Yeah,
that's
he's
the
like-
go-to
That's
answer.
like the go-to.
I aspire to be a dad that
Yeah.
bad.
What about the
Just like,
Just confidently that bad. Like, I just hate my kid that much. Like, that's almost impressive that he committed that hard to it.
he was only one step away from looking at Shinji and being like, who?
Like a bad.
Who are you?
I would say he committed so much to being a bad dad that he was always around, which is more than some other bad dads, right? Which I think is. It's kind of gaslighting Shinji, right? It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm here
Yeah.
for you, but get in the robot.
I mean,
please.
the other
weirdest argument
stereotypical bad dad is Nina's dad from Fullmetal Alchemist, obviously.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah. I know what
Whatever
you're
his
talking
name
I'm
was.
trying to think of some devil's advocate where I could argue he's a good dad.
But I would
hold
love
on,
to
hold
hear
on,
in
I
this
can think of
case.
something.
I would love to hear this.
This is where the AI would be great to help me out here.
Okay. So
Why is Nina's dad
hold on,
actually a good
hold on,
dad?
hold on.
okay, let me break it down for you. Okay, let me
Yeah.
break it down for you. Is there anything more pure in life than a dog?
Yeah, he wanted her to be a good boy forever.
Yeah. How do you keep your children pure and innocent forever? Okay, you cross them with a dog. Okay, that's I have not seen Full Metal Alchemist, but I'm guessing that was his motivation. And you know what? I kind of dig with it, man.
You know what? You know what? Daughters overrated. Dogs though,
Look,
that shit sticks with you.
Look, I bet that daughter would have grown up to be a fucking turd, man. Okay, every daughter reaches that age in their teenagehood, you know, when they're just like, Dad, I don't care about you
He
anymore.
was just
You're
like-
stinky. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out
he
of
was
my
just
face.
like- he was just
didn't
like-
he didn't want that, you know.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you're about to hit puberty? Not on my watch.
I asked it to, why is Nina's dad from Full Metal Alchemist right? And it goes, the series does not depict any character of the perspective of right or wrong.
Yeah,
Actions have consequences, and they make mistakes as well. The story doesn't shy away from showing characters' flaws.
I mean,
That's an interesting defense.
that's an interesting defense.
Listen, yeah, like I'm with Garnt in this camp. He just wanted to make a good boy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And was the dog a little sad? Yeah, but their dogs could be sad. We just don't hear
Yeah,
them
you know,
say it.
it's a work in progress.
I think, imagine if he actually perfects it though, and the dog is
Right.
happy when it happens. Then I think
Charging
science-
low.
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Maybe he's the
Few
victim.
uncomfortable question.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, okay, wait.
Maybe he's the victim. Maybe he was like, I just wanted to make a good boy, and then I
just
fucked
wanted to
up,
pu-
and
he
it
just
ended
wanted
up
to push
being a
science.
sad dog.
He was
Look,
a scientist helping us.
Yeah.
I can't
This
believe people
was his first attempt at it, you know. And you know, every scientific breakthrough has a few failures every now and again. You know, are we gonna say no to human experimentation just because a few people get violently murdered? No, I don't know. I don't know.
He's just
Man.
like, all right, I gotta order up another daughter. I guess.
It's like, wife, I need another
Yeah,
daughter to
wife,
experiment
we need
on.
another one. This experiment went wrong. Don't ask.
I'm realizing now the lack of dads in anime. There's not a lot.
There's not a lot of good dads. Mecha definitely does not have a good track record for
There's so many just dads that
amazing
just
dads.
aren't around.
I mean, just think
I mean,
of
look, like think about it
think of
perspective-wise,
Code
though, right?
Geass, right? It's
Yeah.
it's just like, what? every mecha dad just wants to fucking take over the world or be a shitty dad.
Well, think about it even in like, you know, in the defense of like Gendo, for instance. Like, he was a good dad to Rei. He was a shit dad to Shinji, though.
I would argue he was a good husband to Rei.
Oh yeah, that's her. Yeah, dad / husband. It's a Sagi drop all over again. Fuck! It all goes back to Sagi drop.
It all goes back, man.
I can't think of any other dads. I'm just straight up trying
I'm
to
looking
think of
around.
dads.
Okay, if we're not
There's so
talking
many
about
moms, but
if,
no
we're,
dads.
if we're not
Yeah.
talking about anime specifically, or like I guess things that came from and to anime, like say if like Pokemon, right? The Pokemon series.
Oh,
You
I-
never
I-
see Ash's dad.
I got one.
Right.
What about Rudius's dad from Mushoku Tensei?
But when he gets reincarnated,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Oh.
kind of the guy. I like him. He's like
good
a
dad.
flaw. Little playboy.
Yeah.
Little playboy he is.
Playboy.
Yeah.
I like him.
I think he's one of the most human dads. Where
He's a bit of a scumbag, but
Yeah.
he also is a good dad, so it makes him
he like tries to be a good dad. Like I think the scene that got me in Mushoku Tensei was the scene where Rudius like hugs him to be like, I wasn't the perfect dad, and he's just like, I forgive you. I was like, oh fuck, man. I wish I could tell my dad that sometimes. Okay.
Okay, question.
Askeladd. Racing. Well, technically his son, but basically the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Basically
like
in
the
Vinland
stepdad.
Saga.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the best stepdad in
Yeah.
anime. You know, you
The
first,
best case scenario for
he
a
kills
stepdad.
your real dad,
Yeah.
and then becomes the goat dad. Like obviously killing the real dad is bad, but if he becomes an even better dad, I think there's a question to be.
But he went
it's
into
an
it.
uncomfortable
He went
question.
into it with an alpha mentality. He was like, "I'm gonna kill your real dad because I'm more confident I can be a better dad than your real dad."
And so that's why he's the ugly but good dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Question.
he's Welsh, so
Okay.
that's also
And he's Welsh.
And he's Welsh.
So you know he
There's
is
a bit of bias.
He's the best Welsh dad we've had yet.
Okay. Question.
out of how many?
Out of all the Welsh dads in anime, he's the goat. He is absolutely the goat.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Is Minato a good dad to Naruto?
Is Naruto a good dad?
Is Naruto a good dad as well? Double question.
Naruto.
No.
Neither Naruto or Sasuke. Fucking like.
Obviously Sasuke. Sasuke never wanted to be having kids anyway.
Sasuke went out to get milk and never came back. He was that dad. I feel so sorry for Sarada.
Sarada, yeah. Salad.
Sasuke seems like the kind of dude.
You know you're a bad dad because you named your daughter fucking Salad.
Sasuke's the kind of dude who felt like he would try and explain to you for 10 minutes why he never took the run in his life. Like he would have a full-on conversation trying to justify it. That's the vibe.
Yeah, I remember the only part of Naruto I've seen is for like two movies. I'm not to like Naruto, so I don't know how full of that Naruto is now. But my fucking god, he needs to learn how to discipline this kid. Fuck me, man.
He's out of fucking control.
He is, man. Boruto's a dick. You know, it's so weird because, like, see, I forget that Boruto's not even an only child. Everyone forgets that she has a sister because her sister's so well behaved, right? And Naruto's definitely that dad that was just like, I was a fucking dickhead. So you know what, kid? You can be a dickhead too. And I'm like, no, Naruto, don't do that.
So my dad wasn't there during my childhood. I won't be for yours either. I'm learning by example.
You'd think from not having like not growing with parents that Naruto would want to like offset that. He doesn't learn from that. You'd think he would know that.
I just had them in his father as opposed to violence.
Yeah. I guess
Like, choose your own dad.
I guess that's it. Yeah. That was the anime dads, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
This is
They may be
literally.
joking.
Oh, sorry.
No, no.
It's a tangent, actually. Sorry, guys. That makes me think about food that sounds disgusting but actually delicious.
That sounds disgusting.
Food that
The,
sounds
like-
Don wrote this down. This is food that sounds disgusting but actually delicious.
See, there's two ways we can go about that.
Pizza toast.
The name sounds disgusting, but it's actually good, or the concept sounds
I
disgusting.
think it should be the concept that sounds disgusting. You say fucking chocolate. That sounds disgusting, and it is disgusting.
That all sounds disgusting and it is disgusting.
No, that's delicious as well. I will not take Shinobu slander from you two non-Japanese people. There's a lot of Japanese people though like that. Like,
I'm just thinking roast Japanese.
Okay, one for me that I actually saw like real life example was when I first for a couple of my like Australian high school friends, right? And they were the kind of like super like Western friends who like never tried proper like Japanese food or like any kind of food. And I took them to eat sukiyaki.
Okay.
Right, and they thought the concept of the raw egg was disgusting.
Yeah, it is a hard sell. It is a
Yeah,
hard sell.
yeah.
So sukiyaki is like a meaty broth where you cook all the veg like a hot pot, but so you cook all the veg and the meat in this hot pot. But what makes it unique is that you have a raw egg on the side that you whisk, kind of, to make it all like consistent.
Yeah.
And then you dunk everything in this broth in the raw egg, then eat it. And
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it sounds kind of gross.
Yeah.
You don't cook the egg before. You cook
Yeah.
the meat and then dunk the cooked meat in the raw egg.
Yeah, so
Which
basically
so
the
good.
meat and the vegetables are like kind
It
of
sounds gross.
yeah,
now that I think
it's
about
been
it.
simmering in this like soy sauce based broth, and now there's just like a whole bunch of raw egg over it. It
Yeah.
sounds gross if you
So
never had
good.
it,
It's
but
so
when you
good.
have it, you realize it's one of the best types of hot pots you can have in Japan.
It is delicious. I don't know, the yolk, it's a natural source.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry.
What was your
No, no, you go first.
I was just gonna say the yolk just makes such a delicious natural sauce that we just have never had before.
yeah,
You know,
but when I think about it, it's like okay, I think to a lot of people conceptually that's quite gross,
Yeah.
even though it's pretty delicious.
So, I propose
Yeah,
the toast sandwich.
is that okay?
It's, I
it
would say
doesn't
disgusting,
sound,
but it's
yeah, it's not gross.
It's just nothing.
It's just bland.
It's pretty good.
That's like saying
I like the
Get
taste
the
of it.
fuck
I
out of here.
like the taste
Get
of it.
the fuck out of here, Connor.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
that is the whitest thing
No.
you've said on this podcast,
I
Connor.
had it. I thought it sounded dumb as fuck, and I had it, and I thought it's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Okay, so explain. So it's basically, is it a sandwich that
So
has toast in it?
So it's two pieces of bread.
Yeah,
and then
non-cooked bread.
Yeah,
Like
non-toasted.
non-toasted bread.
Non-toasted bread, and then
Yeah.
you have a toasted bread in the middle that you normally season with salt and pepper, and then you put it just like in the middle and you eat it. It's pretty good. And you can put butter on it if you want to. It's pretty good. It sounds gross, but it's
I
pretty
would
good.
rather just have fucking toast. You know?
Yeah.
Why?
Why am I
It's a
filling?
delicacy. It's a delicacy.
Why am I filling myself up with 2 extra slices of non-toasted bread when I could also toast those?
It's different. It's good. You should try it. We should all try it.
What compelled you to make this?
Because I'd seen it so many times, and I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just try it. Like before I make my opinions on it, Yes, it sounds fucking stupid.
I did. To be fair, when we
was
were
pretty good.
when we were in the
Yeah.
UK last year, I did go to like a bakery and I did see it on their menu, and I was really
You saw it on the
tempted.
menu? I've never seen it on
I've
the
seen it.
menu.
I've seen it on the menu,
Fuck.
and it was like
I never seen it on the menu.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw it on the menu
This
and I
was
was like,
custom.
that can't be right.
I'm misreading this.
Yeah, I think-
British cuisine. Let's
Yeah.
put bread between our
Listen,
It must be like
I
slang
know,
for
I know
something
people are
or-
going to use this to slant my taste buds, but hey, it's not bad. You got to try it before you deny it.
Connor,
Like,
why didn't you
listen,
say I didn't love
salt-
bread enough as it is, Connor? Why
salt-
didn't you tell me?
Salt, bread, carbs, and just black pepper is just all I need. Like that's good enough for me. I'm like a. You know how like dogs, when you give them dog treats every single day, you give them the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do they get so excited every time?
Right.
That's what I want for my food.
Well, that's also because their brains are small.
Is that why?
Yes.
If they had bigger brains, they'd be like,
so they're
really?
just like
Dog
they're just
treats
less.
again?
Yeah, so they're just less capable of being like, actually, I've had this for 200 days straight, master. I require some other type of sustenance. They don't have that knowledge.
Maybe they
You
do
know,
that. Maybe they just like
I'm
it.
slandering the bread sandwich, but you know what?
Toast sandwich. excuse you.
Toast sandwich. Crisp sandwich? I actually get behind that.
I like crisp
I like
sandwiches.
crisp sandwiches.
Crisp sandwiches, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Does it sound disgusting then? Is that
It's just like socially looked down upon. And I don't know why.
it's seen as a
What?
peasant food?
It's seen as a peasant food, and I don't know why. It should be seen as a delicacy. Fuck, if...
Yeah.
Grant securing his British citizenship for life. they're never being questioned.
You know, why are kids on a playground getting bullied for bringing a crisp sandwich to school? Let's not pretend that it's not like the best meal you could have as a kid. That it's the meal that you wanted as a kid, but you couldn't tell
Yeah.
your parents that you
It's,
wanted.
it's
like
not the
that?
most gourmet shit, but goddamn, is it cost efficient.
Do
Yeah.
you like chip sandwiches?
Yes, I love chip sandwiches.
Shit, I've
Like
never had a chip
fries,
sandwich.
fries.
Yeah,
and just-
like
Oh.
hot chip sandwiches.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
love
good.
those. Love
It's
those.
pretty good.
I could possibly.
Pretty good.
That was
It's
that
pretty
was
good.
like that was my
Put
diet
some
in high
ketchup
school.
on it, maybe some mayo or something too.
Dude, for us in Australia, we put some chicken salt on that bitch. Woo!
Okay, another thing that definitely sounds disgusting, and isn't that bad, I'd say is, I think you'd say horses.
Oh, horse meat?
Horse sounds disgusting,
Yeah.
but
Does
I
it
think
sound
you
It,
like
okay,
disgusting?
I don't think it's that it sounds disgusting.
It's
I think
horses,
it
you're like-
sounds. It's just morally wrong
Yeah.
to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
It's like eating like cat or dog,
Yeah.
right? It's like it's not about like the
I wouldn't
concept.
say
It's like the
on,
moral.
I wouldn't say it's on that level, but an animal that we have, let's say, domesticated and have put to use.
Well, we've domesticated horses.
No, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm but like horses haven't been domesticated on as wide of a like level as not wide as wide. It's not as widespread as people owning cats and dogs.
Right.
It
You know?
used to be pretty widespread.
No, it used to be
Yeah.
widespread.
But
I have
don't
no
think
doubt.
I've learned, yeah, not.
Maybe in Japan they do.
Yeah.
Right, but Japan, they always gonna eat meat.
Yeah, Japan is like doesn't move. We can eat it.
I had this seal. Sound disgusting?
Seal.
Just
I had
sounds.
seal in a can.
That just sounds.
Oh,
wrong.
I think I have as well. It's they're very blubbery, right?
Yeah.
And like very fatty. It's like bear meat as well.
Yeah.
Like, does bear meat sound disgusting?
Yeah.
That
That's
does sound,
because
that
it
does
is.
sound disgusting. Any like apex predator, I just feel it just doesn't taste. Just shouldn't taste good.
Like crocodile?
Crocodile. I've never had crocodile before.
I've had crocodile. It's like tough chicken.
Tough chicken.
It is. It's like tough chicken. If
Okay.
you close your eyes and
frogs,
ate it,
does that sound disgusting?
Yes, and I think they are disgusting.
I actually quite
Frogs
like
are fucking delicious.
I actually
man.
quite like
Holy
frogs.
shit, frog legs?
I can't.
Actually,
They're just like baby chicken legs.
Yeah, they're just baby
I
chicken
can't
legs.
eat it without picturing that frog dancing. One with a top hat. Hello, my baby. Hello.
Wait, when have you had frogs?
I had it when I was in France. one
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
I
fine.
did too, and it came
Yeah.
on a plane. And I was like, "Oh shit, it's that boy."
I just imagine it happy singing and dancing like 20 minutes ago. I don't know why. What's wrong with my brain?
Oh yes, okay.
Frogs, no, but horses, I'll fucking eat
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Because
But frogs too cute.
I'm not a horse person, so I don't care about
Are you a
horses.
frog person?
Kind of like frogs. They're kinda frogs are cute as fuck.
Okay.
Frogs are cute. Frogs
Okay,
are
what
cute.
about escargot?
I was going to say, now that we're on that,
Not a
escargot.
fan.
You don't like escargot?
Not a fan.
I quite like.
Why does Garth look so stunned when you say
I wasn't stunned. I was like, why am I not surprised that Joey's like, yeah, I fuck with that.
Escargot's delicious. It's great.
Joey likes everything weird.
Depends
I
on my
do.
mood. Depends on my mood. Because sometimes, we don't want to admit it, but our mental image of something can affect the taste. You know, it's
If you associate food or drink with like a bad time or a bad experience, it also is worse as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've had escargot, and I'm fine with the taste. I am never going to like go out and look for it. But I'm not like opposed to it. But when I know it's escargot, I know that there's this part of my brain that is just like, you're eating a fucking slimy ass snail.
Isn't it weird? Okay, in that vein, isn't it also weird that we're totally okay with eating snails, but we're not okay with eating slugs?
Well, I mean, okay.
I've always thought about
I'm not
that.
okay with either of them. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
okay with that. Why did you assume we are okay with eating slugs?
I think
well,
slugs
no.
are-
As in, like, we're okay with eating snails, but we're not okay with eating slugs.
Well,
just like as a
I always
society.
found the snails.
slug
snails.
The slug society.
Again, snails were the more refined slugs. in
Are
my
they,
mind.
though?
I always thought they were the classier slugs. You know, what I
They're
mean?
just the slugs that live in caravans, right?
Yeah, it's like the broke snail is the slug, right? Like and slug, you know, like snails are like snails, slug, you know.
Look, slugs are just like snails that have gone through like the homeless the homeless crisis. You know, they ain't rich enough to buy a home. They're obviously and
I mean, this
They're the
market
ones that
is
got
very
hit hard by the
volatile.
global financial crisis.
yeah, fuck man.
Okay, I had one. Fuck, I had it and I forgot it. It was
What? Okay, what kind of things? Is there any animal body parts that sounds disgusting?
Testicles.
Testicles.
Yeah, I've had like bull's testicles before. Conceptually, I was like, all right, I'm eating nuts.
Yeah.
You know, that's whatever. But I'm very much in the mindset of like, you know, whatever it might be conceptually, as long as it tastes good,
Yeah.
then I'm okay with it for the most part.
For me,
right?
I'd actually, because I think I'd actually rather eat a testicle than
I
eat.
mean, out of context.
I'd rather eat
a
a testicle, like conceptually, right?
yeah,
I know something about eating like a blood vessel,
a blood vessel. So like blood sausage.
like a vein or something like that.
Oh, a vein.
Because I've seen that before.
You
and
can
I-
eat veins.
It's like a blood, like a vein on artery or something.
Right.
I've seen that before, and I'm just like,
How do they get it out intact?
What do you mean?
Like usually it's like quite, you know, they're quite small, right? So do they just pull the artery?
Some of like the main big arteries.
Oh, I
are
see,
like-
I see.
Are like, you know, pretty fucking fat, and
Yeah.
I don't know, something about that just like freaks me the fuck out, and I'm like,
Like
I can't,
eating
I can't.
blood, yeah.
Okay, something that sounds conceptually disgusting.
Yeah.
Fish eggs. Fish eggs look and sound disgusting before you've had them, and then you try it. And you're like,
True.
oh, they're quite refreshing.
True. Yeah.
Like if you'd never had fish eggs, like, and you don't have a culture of eating them, and someone had said, "Hey, do you want to eat fish eggs?" Like my parents were like, I told them that, and they were like, "Oh, like is that like caviar?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's
Yeah.
caviar but different."
Well,
Yeah.
caviar is fish eggs.
Yeah, well, it's like as in like the
Or like salmon
the
roe,
normal
right?
common fish eggs that you eat.
Yeah.
Fish eggs are fucking delicious. Man.
Yeah.
I remember some like because whenever like in Thailand, whenever there's like, you know, if you fry the fish, sometimes the fish eggs, sometimes they don't remove the fish eggs from the fish.
Oh,
so
we
you-
did
Oh, that would freak me out.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you open it up and
And it's just like packed full.
they're
of
just it's just
That
like
freak
on,
me out.
huh?
Oh,
that
it's
freaked
good.
me
It's
out.
delicious.
And it's one of the most delicious parts of the fish, I think, because it's fried. It absorbs all of the sauces that you fried
I
in.
like them both separate now. I'm realizing. I like them, but I don't see the eggs from the fish. I like that I just see the eggs.
But that's weird though, right?
Is it- again, that's something weird
because
going on in my brain.
conceptually
Yeah.
it's no different, right?
Yeah.
It's just separated.
Yeah.
That's like being like, oh, I like sausages and I like mashed potatoes, but I don't like mac and mash. It's the equivalent to that.
I think it's just seeing. You know, sometimes everyone always says like how the sausage is made. And, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
It's like I see how the sausage is made, and I don't mind that. I'm like
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
When I see where the eggs come from, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Like when I see those videos where they open up the sturgeon to get the caviar,
Yeah.
and they just fucking rip this thing's stomach open like a Doom like video, and then grab all these hundreds of thousands of eggs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's
watching a
pretty gnarly.
You're just watching a C-section, right?
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
That's
like-
basically what you're watching.
When it comes in the tin, I don't question it, and I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. But
It's all
when
about packaging.
But when it comes directly, they've ripped it out. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think caviar is like overrated anyway.
I don't like caviar.
Yeah,
I had it one
it's-
time and I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, it's pretty overrated.
It's the same as any other ingredient. You can't just slap it onto anything and just hope that it tastes good because it's
People
like
just fucking add it to the menu to make it more expensive. I'm
Yeah, I
convinced.
know.
I don't think anyone actually cares about the flavor.
yeah.
'Cause it's just salt.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's just a little salt, and it's a little bit of salt and a little bit of like sea and like fishy,
Yeah. Seawater flavor.
Why
seawater
would you
flavor.
sea salt?
Yeah, it's just very yeah. That's it. It's just very expensive seawater. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, right? That's what it is.
Oh my god.
That can taste good, but definitely not worth the price that you pay.
God, I think I was a weird kid. I think I remember I liked the taste of the sea salt, like the sea. Like I think I got it on me and I licked like I like a wristband on or something. I licked it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm licking it. I think I licked it. And I was like, damn, this shit tastes good.
I know it does taste good. Whenever
I mean,
It's just salt.
Wait,
Salt. I'm like, shit. Why does the cholera taste so good in the ocean?
Have you never gone like swimming in the
No,
ocean
I
and then you
have,
come
I
out
have.
and then it dries out and then your
And you-
skin's like all like flaky because of the salt and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that tastes good.
Or like when you accidentally get it in your mouth and you're like, I'm not gonna tell anyone this, but it tastes really fucking good.
That tastes good.
Because there's undoubtedly amount of sewage in this, and I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember when I was a kid in Thailand we owned like a bunch of dogs at our house and my grandma would every time we'd go to a trip to the seaside we'd come back and the dogs would just like fucking we'd pet them and we'd pet the dogs and the dogs would like lick the fuck out of my hands and I'm just like, oh yeah, I know what they're licking, man. God, I wish I was that
Yeah,
dog.
I know I'm tasting. Speaking of, I just thought of a tangent.
Oh yeah.
What about the etiquette and taboos of pooping in different cultures?
Wait, what did you put in this AI to get these prompts?
I put in give me talking points about a podcast that talks about Japan, anime, pooping, and everything else.
Well, here's the pooping one.
So the etiquette in Japan, you have to take your shoes off in some places. Like, you have to wear a different pair of shoes to go
Yeah.
to the
Oh,
toilet.
yeah, like
yeah.
the slippers,
Like,
right?
you'll be in a restaurant where you've taken off your shoes and go into the toilet with another pair of slippers.
Yep.
Yeah.
The communal toilet slippers.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you
Take a
ever
piss.
use the communal toilet slippers in
Hell
Japan?
no.
Um,
Hell no.
I,
'Cause
I
it's
do,
gross.
but it's kind of nasty when you think about it.
It
'cause
is.
it's like I'd rather just take my risks and touch the floor.
Because
Yeah,
because like think about like the amount of first of all like not clean like socks and potentially
Yeah.
just feet that have been
Yeah.
there, and then second of all in the case with guys, right, like think of the amount of like piss that just fucking flings out and
Oh,
lands
well, yeah.
on the slippers,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know how often they're cleaning these slippers. I assume not very often
Yeah.
in some places, right?
But there have been some like it's a type thing. Normally I don't use it, but there's sometimes I walk in a toilet and I see like a small little wet patch somewhere. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I,
sure.
I
Yeah.
ain't taking
Yeah.
the chance,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I ain't taking
Yeah.
the chance.
Yeah. That's
You
the
know?
only time I would wear it. If like the toilet looks clean and there's like no noticeable puddles or anything, then I'm just going in with my socks.
Yeah.
Is there a culture in Japan? Because I don't know, and I'm asking. Against like, because in the UK and I think the US as well, there's kind of I think it's mainly the UK. People really don't want to shit in public. Like shitting in a public toilet is like a.
Is that culture?
I don't know if it's culture.
I
or
think it's an
whatever.
individual thing.
I know a lot of people who really will do anything to not shit in a public
I
toilet.
am that person.
Okay.
I am that person.
God's like, is this? Yeah, because I.
Are you calling me out, Connor?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I know you probably know a lot of people who are like the same. Right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it the same in Australia as well, or is it?
Yes, only because unlike Japan, the public toilets are disgusting.
They're a bit more disgusting, but I'm also a lot more forgiving. Because I'm kind of the mindset of
Okay.
I'm in the mess.
Okay, there's
I'm part of the mess.
there's a lot of reasons why I
Okay.
want to shit right in my the comfort of my own.
No, I don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I will never want to shit in a public toilet more than mine.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course.
But
let's
when nature calls,
Yeah, when you have to go, you have to go.
But let's take let's say hygiene out of it. Let's assume you live in Japan,
Yeah.
a country where the public toilets are clean as fuck. Okay.
sometimes.
Sometimes you can get
Most of the
unlucky.
I've seen some gnarly toilets here.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Japan's track record for public toilets compared to every other country I've been to is really fucking good.
Yeah,
I'll
true.
say that. So taking that aspect out of it, there's just sometimes there's just something comforting about shitting in a place that's your own home. Okay? Because do you feel uncomfortable shitting in your mate's place?
No.
Yeah.
In fact, I try and do it every time I go.
What the fuck? Okay.
What's wrong with
Okay. That's the last time I invite you around my house, Joey.
I want to mark my territory.
I think I got. I don't like it. I think you had this one time. I don't know if you still do.
Yeah.
You had the fur thing on your toilet. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That freaks me out.
Oh,
It's like the last thing I
carpet
want.
on the
last
thing.
thing I want to picture is carpet and shit. Like I want it to be like porcelain, so that if I shit everywhere, it's super easy. Like, not that I'm
Right.
shit everywhere, but just the thought of rubbing my ass cheeks against the carpet while I'm shit. I mean, oh.
yeah, that's a little strange.
I think yours was on top. So in Japan they have, you can get the carpet on top of the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Goes on
have
the
the
lid.
carpet on top of the lid.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
normal. But then some people, some monsters have the carpet on the like actual part you sit on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where I'm like,
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
weird. I
I
think
just
I'm.
follow my wife on that one. I wasn't getting. I woke up one day and I'm just like, why would you do this? What is this?
I had to just get used to it because like my grandma had it my whole life. So I'm just kind of used to it now. But But in saying that, I don't like it.
I like that we have certain rules in society that don't change certain things, and the design of the toilet has gone unchanged for generations. And I don't think we should start rethinking it. I think the toilet is a banger. Let's just stick with it. It's like this is why I hate it when dudes wear like when it's a formal event and everyone's wearing a tuxedo and a guy wears something other than a tuxedo. It's like, okay, what are you trying to do? You're trying to fuck with the norm. Everyone has a social contract. We know the tuxedo is the go-to. We all know that we can just whip out the tuxedo and we're taken care of. It's fine. Don't start changing the norm. Don't change the toilet.
Okay, here's a question then. If you're out in public, and this applies mostly to people who are comfortable with shitting in public in a gay economy, right? But say you're in a situation, and I'm sure you've been in a situation like this, right? So you have to take a shit. You can't hold it in, right?
Yeah.
But that's fine. You're okay with public shitting in public, right? You walk in, and there are only the Japanese-style toilets. Do you take a shit?
If I gotta go, I gotta go. I've never done it yet. I've never shat in Japanese style toilet. Which
Right.
is, where you just squat over a hole.
Yeah, the squat toilets.
I've avoided it.
Yeah. Have you ever done the Japanese-style toilet before?
Oh, I mean, yeah, we have those all the time in Thailand.
Right.
They're
the worst.
Basically, at every gas station, it's awful.
Hey, it's the
How do
worst.
how do you avoid splashback in standing toilets? Because you're dropping it like that's gaining some G's, that shit.
You ain't dropping it that far, mate.
How-
What are you standing up? What are you doing?
Like, how far are we
what are you
squatting?
doing like that?
Hold on. No. The real question is, at what velocity does the shit leave your ass?
Quite.
So much so that it splashes.
Bro, if I'm dying and I'm using one of those toilets, it's probably a pretty vicious force that's coming out. So how low are we getting when we're shitting? Are we like
we're getting
are we
very
full
low.
like knees are like fully bent like
Yeah,
this?
knees are fully bent.
I always
Wait, in a
imagined it was, like,
Japanese
90
Japanese toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're like fully squatting.
Yeah, you're fully
I
squatted.
thought it was like a 90-degree kind of lean situation.
I can just imagine just Connor seeing the squat toilet. He's like, all right. Standing up. Just like dropping it for like 2 feet.
I've never tried, and I don't dare try.
Connor just like takes his trousers off and just stands on top of the toilet.
Just like hands. Just like this.
So I imagined like
Yeah.
Oh no. You're like fully Asian squatting.
Yeah.
literally like
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you're
full
Asian
on Asian
squat,
squatting.
Asian
You're
squat,
Asian
Asian squat.
squatting. Yeah.
That's why Asian squat exists, so
how
they
do
can
these-
shit
How
correctly,
do these
man.
like 90-year-old men do that? Like, how do they get back up? Do people like just get stuck?
No, because they probably have to do it every day.
No, I've seen some old people in Japan who can barely like walk around.
Oh, they probably own Western toilets in that
Yeah.
case.
Damn straight they do. Damn straight they do.
Yeah, you need that's. I think that's why every Asian is like pre-programmed in their gene to be able to Asian squat.
Yeah.
Just in case they need to shit in a public toilet. you
Okay,
know?
here's another question when it
Okay.
comes to etiquette. Okay.
Okay.
Again, this doesn't apply to you.
Right.
It applies to you though. When you shit in a public toilet, right, Western one,
Right.
do you use the bidet?
Yes.
Okay, because I know a lot of people who don't.
Okay, so
Because it's like, why would I share a bidet with some random?
Oh,
Well,
I'm fine with sharing it.
because
That's
because
dumb.
the way the bidet comes out, right? It comes
Yeah.
out like this angle, right?
Yeah.
And then the bidet shoots the water that way.
Yeah.
So there's no way it could get dirty, and even if it did, it's like, well, it's no more dirty than putting your ass cheeks on the toilet anyway. Like,
That's exactly.
and you're already washing it with water, so let's say even
Yeah.
if there was a tiny bit of dirt left on the bidet, somehow
Yeah.
it would get blown away anyway from all the ass washing you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a weird mind block.
It is,
something
but
like that.
I know a few people who have that mindset, and I've told them
If
that
you're-
exact same
if-
thing.
if-
They're like, no, it's still like.
If you're willing to put your cheeks on the same seat that like 1,000 plus other people put their cheeks on,
Yeah.
and some people are pretty good with dirty as well. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you know,
Yeah.
like
I think you're fine.
At that point, it's like,
At that point, you use the Japanese style toilets.
Yeah,
There's
or
no
just-
lid to sit on.
or just
Yeah.
bring your own,
bring-
your own
Yeah,
bidet.
do you know one of like the scariest sights to see in like a public toilet in my mind? Like so you need a shit. Someone just goes out the toilet stall. You go in, you see the toilet lid down, and you're like, oh.
Just to touch it.
Oh, he's just dropped a fat one. Because
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Because every time that happens, because you never like when you go to a public toilet, like do you put the toilet seat down afterwards? As in like after you take a shit out? I only do that when I know I'm dropped a fucking stinker.
Oh,
like
no.
like a fucking nuclear bomb. So
No.
every time I walk in a toilet stall and I see the toilet seat is like fully down, I'm like, someone's just fucking destroyed this toilet, and I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared.
For me, I'm more scared of, even though I just heard the flush.
Yeah.
I walk in and I see the lid is closed. Somewhere deep in my mind, I'm like, if I open this, I'm gonna see that guy's turd still in there. He's left me a nasty fucking surprise that I'm not ready to open this. I'm not ready to open this Pandora's box, but I need to.
It's the smell, because I know as soon as I open it, it's just like, I know I'm gonna fucking smell.
It's gonna be a bomb.
It's gonna be a bomb. I know I'm gonna hit with the smell, and I'm like, oh god, why couldn't I have just waited like 10 more minutes for the smell to dissipate? But yeah, that's
Nasty.
Do you use that weird like toilet seat outline sheet you can get at some toilets?
Sometimes I do.
Occasionally, if it's a really nasty looking toilet, I'll try, but I get so frustrated because it never stays on the fucking seat.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get these like kind of toilet paper style things that kind of go around the whole toilet and then you poke out the middle.
It's like a
Yeah.
serviette for a toilet
It's
seat.
Yeah.
really weird and it's so fidgety and it never stays in place and I have to like quickly put it down and get my ass on it so it stays.
Yeah.
I hate that thing so much.
Because it's so thin, so the lightest breeze just fucking swishes it
Well,
around.
like the pressure from your ass approaching will blow it away.
yeah.
And so I normally don't use it.
yeah.
Just,
Sometimes,
just thought I wanted to-
sometimes a
just-
little extra protection.
Japan, they love they have this thing as well. It's pretty common. You can clean the toilet seat if you want to.
Oh, with the wet wipes.
There's like another spray. It's not for your hands. It's like for some toilet roll.
Yeah.
Do that occasionally.
Yeah.
Depends how spicy I'm feeling. If it's a
Yeah.
long one, I'm like, all right, just get settled in. Let's do it.
Okay, here's the question. What do you do? In a public toilet?
I've never had that.
You've never had that issue?
I've had that.
Or like, it's either like there's no toilet paper or that's why I hate going to public toilets.
Well, that's why I always check before I go in.
Sometimes you just forget because you're just too fucking desperate. And that first one comes out, it's a fat one, and you look over and you're like, oh no, DEFCON 5. I need emergency meeting time, guys.
Hopefully you're with a friend and they can get help. That's like
Yeah, I mean,
like a fuck.
Yeah.
well, see, because I've learned from that, and so now in whatever bag I have while I'm out, I always have like pocket tissues, just in case, because you never know.
I think I have had this. I think I just like had a really dirty ass. Because you had no other choice. Like, what can you do? Like if you're alone, what can you do?
It's like when you're at home as well, though, right? And you realize that there's no toilet paper on the toilet roll. You look to where you usually have all your toilet paper. There's none there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do in that situation?
Just go in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like shower that sort of way.
Shower straight.
Yeah. Good old fucking shower spray.
All right. What's the
Alright.
next tangent?
The next tangent is the funniest and most bizarre Japanese advertisements.
I'm surprised we've never talked about this.
I saw one the other day.
Right?
It was like a cow that was styled like Joseph. It had like a delinquent, and then the cow walks up to these two delinquents on the train. It's like, those old people are like, and they open the boot suit and cuts the bottom. I don't know what they're promoting or what they're
That definitely sounds like a Japanese
I
ad.
have no idea. And then I think it was like some kind of milk based, something like, there's a lot of weird Japanese ads.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I think what's funny is that, like, you know, in the West, there's that, like, whole stereotype of, like, oh, Japanese ads are something, like, the most wackiest, they don't make any fucking sense type of ads. And yeah, there's certainly a lot of them, but, like, I think a lot of people have this weird image that ads are bad in Japan, whereas there are some normal ads in Japan.
That's really boring. They love chimes still.
They love chimes, yeah, they love
Plus jingles, they've been push jingles so hard.
One ad that I recently saw that I thought was funny was, you know, obviously it was like chainsaw stuff. I saw this huge like banner ad on PlayStation, and it was just like 95% of space. And
I've seen this one.
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I read it, and it's an ad for a recruit. It basically said, I want you to be mine. But it was like, it was written in like Makima style of like speech, and it's like, I want you to be mine. Come to this recruitment company. I'm like, that is so weird. I hate how
You know, just by putting fucking Makima's face and being like, you can work under for me.
yeah, you can be mine.
You can be mine. I'm like, fuck. Can I have my own Makima in my life, man?
So sometimes they're like Giga Brain. Other times it's just like, you know, I think a lot of the Wins ones that I've seen where it's just like, that's kind of unnecessary is that they take like a celebrity or a comedian or whatever.
Yeah.
They put them into like a weird fucking like bodysuit.
Yeah, they have a lot of weird surrealist type of commercials. Where it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, like there's this commercial that's been playing all the time, like every taxi I've gone through recently, where it's these people on stage dancing or something like that, and it's like this absurdist nightmare where they slowly turn into puppets or something like that, and then like one person turns into a puppet, but everyone keeps on dancing, and then slowly the entire crew is just like a fucking is a plastic puppet or something like that. And I'm like, this is the stuff of nightmares, actually. What are you trying to promote here? I'm so confused.
Dude, like taxi ads are like some of my favorite because it's like
Yeah.
they're clearly trying to like make it, you know, interesting and like kind of visually appealing and like visually like fun, happy times, yay. But all of the ads are just like join up with this cloud management system
They have this
for
one-
your company.
They have
It's
that
like-
one ad that runs in every single taxi, and it's the translation device.
Oh yeah,
And then there's always like these quizzes in
Yeah.
the taxi that's like, it'll say, it'll be like a
That's the
Japanese,
jingle.
it'll be like a Japanese phrase, and it'll be like, what's the answer in English? And you're like, it's very nice to meet you. It's lovely to meet you. And I'm like, pressing it like,
I know this one.
yeah, I know.
I saw this ad the other day in a taxi. It was promoting this mattress. It was meant to be so stable that, and how they tried to promote it was they got someone to jump on the mattress with like a glass of red wine.
That's what they always do.
Oh,
Which is
yeah,
what they
yeah,
always
yeah.
do. But I noticed in the advertisement, they had this shot where this guy jumps on. This guy in a suit jumps on, right? And the glass is like in front of him in frame, right? But also in frame was the fact that this glass was on top of a towel that was opaque. And you could see this shot where this guy jumps on this mattress. He like panics for this glass, and then just starts. And I'm just like, you sneaky motherfuckers! How many fucking takes did this get, man? Fucking false.
How many mattresses do they have to go through?
I think it's the Koala Japanese ad.
Long man. Love those ads.
What's that one?
It was like, oh yeah, he's
I
shocked.
love
you haven't
those
seen it.
ads.
It's basically like this product for this sweet in Japan that's this very long.
It's like gum.
Oh yeah.
and then they told like a story.
Something like that, yeah.
It was really good.
Oh, that was really.
They do a lot of those actually. Like SoftBank has had this like long running like story arc in their advertisements. Where it's like they get back, they get like characters from like Japanese people, and like in a situation where it's like, oh, Taro, I wanna contact you. Make it to the island. Well, why not try SoftBank? And this ad series, I guess, has been going on for like 10 plus years.
Right.
And they're still making it with these like recurring characters. So much so, I think I went to a SoftBank the other day and I saw that they were selling merch of these characters. And I'm like, who? SoftBank employees.
I mean, I also noticed that a lot of Japanese strategy games is, can we make this thing animated? Have you noticed every time I've watched like new prefecture, and they try to promote whatever that prefecture is famous for, like
They call it but every prefecture or like city or whatever has this like mascot type thing. Usually, they giant fucking
Some of them are so fucking ugly.
Yeah.
And they're so bad.
Yeah.
Like the designs.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like I think it's
notes.
Hakodate or Hokkaido. They have Meron-kuran, which is the bear with his head. And I'm like, it's just a fucking black bear with a melon on his head. This got nothing to do with Hokkaido.
Yeah, I've started to notice because I went to the national and then they were trying to advertise their wine.
Yeah.
Because of course they did. And how they did that was they had a boy idol group that they had made to represent all the different wines that were made there.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, really? You had to get like France is crying right now, man. Fucking all of Europe is crying. What have you done to our wine?
Wait, so he's like, I'm Chardonnay.
Yeah. Literally like that.
Merlot, he's a little dark and spicy.
And they had made their own fucking like anime trailer for these
my
boys as well.
God.
And I'm just like, oh,
I need to see this.
Oh, what are you doing?
Wait, let me look it up. It's just like Yamanashi wine.
Look at this as well, like outside of Harajuku, I don't know if it's still there for a very long time. In front of the exit, there was this like anime manga panel, and it looked like a romance thing, but it was advertising password safety.
Yes.
You know the thing I'm
Yes.
talking about?
Yes. I totally.
Yeah.
It's in front of Harajuku. Yeah.
It's like a guy and a girl texting, and they're in love or something, and then it's I can't remember why, but it's literally all about security the passwords, and it's like, what the fuck?
I love. Yeah. It literally just if you just take a glance at it, it just looks like a panel from like standard shoujo romance manga.
Right.
But then when you look at what they're actually
What if I
saying,
can find it? Like,
yeah.
The
I think I remember one of them is like the guy's doing like a kabedon to like the girl, and then the guy's like, "Do you want to make this relationship as strong as your password?" And then at the bottom in the tiny font, it's just like password security company or something like that. I'm just like, that is so gigabrain. I love it when they I love it when they're like mix and match mediums and stuff like that for advertisements.
well, there's an article actually blocked.
Oh, great.
Because we're in Japan.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably open, especially at the end. Yeah, the headline was something like shoujo manga
Yeah.
promoting IT safety.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a panel about it. Does it matter?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, yeah.
So like have it on.
That's for to protect you as much as your password does.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, hey, make sure to look after your password.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's like I'll be waiting until you change your password. It's so smart. It's so
fucking
good.
brilliant.
That's so
I remember
brilliant.
because somebody asked me, they were like, I was with somebody, they were like, what is that advert? And I was like, how's my passwords? And they're like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's so gigabrain. I love it.
Yeah, they get really creative with some stuff in like really cool ways. Like the that really famous 3D curved advertising screen in Shinjuku, the one
Oh,
that they
yeah.
play the cat, where the cat jumps out, and they've been, if you want, that's like their equivalent of Times Square now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
In Japan, it's like if you want the billboard, that's the one.
Yeah.
And it's curved. And you can do 3D.
It is pretty sick, though.
When One Piece Red was out. They had like a whole One Piece thing playing on it where Luffy like jumps out and this like
Oh, cool.
or something I can't remember. It was
Yeah,
cool.
that sounds like Luffy.
Luffy be like ah!
Luffy jumping out and screaming. That's Luffy.
He is literally the Tyler Wan of anime. Hey, we should formulate a plan. Woo!
Yeah. But what always interests me is like, sometimes seeing like the anime tie-in like products and just kind of seeing the lengths they will go to with Evangelion, see how they can tie Ava into this one
Well,
product.
Pachinko.
Pachinko's like
Very,
easy mode,
very
man.
popular.
Yeah, Pachinko's like easy mode. I think the weirdest Ava one one I ever saw was, I think they were advertising like horse race betting or something like that. And they had made
They were doing
this-
they were doing boat race betting as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because what I saw like Ava Unit 1 as like a horse, like running
What
it
the
down,
fuck?
and like Gendo was betting on him. I was like, this is the weirdest ass shit I've ever seen in my life.
What I love is the absolute dichotomy where it's like, we will not give the English rights to license this to anybody for 20 years. Oh yes, go ahead, make Horseman gamble. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're so strict with who we give our IP out to,
Yeah.
unless it's Minions and cleaning products. And it's like, what the fuck? Why do you become super strict about who gets to do it when it comes to foreign people? And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Having an English adaptation.
It's just like, we don't want you to ruin the image of our IP. Meanwhile, here's what we do with our IP. You know, it's
So like double-sided. Like same thing like with like even like Nintendo, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nintendo love to be like, we are so strict with our IP. If you go to some arcades, there are certain machines that are Mario Party gambling machines.
Oh,
Have you seen these?
Yeah.
It's basically a 6-player Mario Party gambling machine.
Yeah.
Where it's with real money, you play and you try and progress around the board to win more money.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, what, Nintendo? Like, there's no guns in games, but gambling is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Japan.
It's
It's fine. It's
Well,
interesting.
it's you know, in terms of like the image that Japan has in terms of that advertising, I'd say a lot of it is actually like pretty normal. It's not as crazy as what people
Yeah,
think
that's what
it
I'm
is.
saying. Like, there's definitely
Yeah.
crazy ones out there, but it's certainly not the majority.
Because I'm going to say, in Thailand are actually fucking amazing and making crazy ass fucking commercials. man.
I've seen some Thai commercials that I saw on YouTube that are like more heart-wrenching than some of like the most heaviest drama films
Bro,
I've seen in my life.
there are some Thai commercials that are just like
cried to watch
that are just like a 2-minute short film, and then it ends, and it's just like, have you heard about life insurance? And I'm just like, yo, you just fucking yanked my heart out for
To
life
be fair,
insurance.
for life insurance,
Yeah.
you're working with the easiest thing to make it
Yeah,
sound.
but these ads are like
How the fuck is
like short.
Cheerios gonna make
Yeah.
this up?
But these ads are like short films.
And there are like so many Thai ads that don't get on board on YouTube that are just weird as fuck. Like I remember, I'm having like a flashback of just some of the adverts I saw as a kid when I was in Thailand watching on TV. And I remember I was in Thailand watching some show, and then it went cut to commercial, and then it showed the scene of like a group of like robbers or like bank heists, and they had like broken into this building, and they're like, oh shit, this is the bank. And I think one guy goes, oh, I think this is like the supermarket. There's a fridge over there. And so they were like, why is there all these like drinks? Have we gone to the wrong place? And so like they start drinking it to like try it out. And then it zooms out to be like, it's a commercial for an optician. To be like, do you need a new prescription for your glasses? And it zooms out, and the building they broke it into is a sperm bank. And watching that as a kid, I'm just like, what is this?
That's so good.
What am I watching right now?
Joke, Dad.
That's so good.
It's like some shit you'd see in like American Pie or something. And I'm like, that was a weird thing to see as a kid. And
Yeah.
like, go Google some Thai commercials because they have some wild ass shit.
But that's the thing. I feel every country has their fair share of like what the fuck type of
Pretty
commercials.
boring ads in the UK.
Really?
yeah.
In Australia, for instance, like there was one ad that just stuck with me forever. It was an ad for Cadbury chocolate, and I think it actually won like a
Was
like
it the British one?
like
The one with the,
Is it the gorilla?
the gorilla one.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah,
that
was
was
massive.
everywhere.
Everyone was like, I remember when I was a kid, when that came on the TV, everyone was like, the ads on, the
Yeah,
ads on.
he's like, it's the gorilla. He's playing in the air tonight on drums.
Honestly, that was probably
That's by far the biggest.
the most
Yeah.
genius ad I've seen.
Yeah, there's another one. I don't know if it's British or Australian. It probably is Australian, but there's a one for some kind of Australian beer, and it's this couple that's like sleeping in the bed,
Yeah.
and the guy is just sleeping next to his girlfriend, and his tongue starts crawling out of his mouth, and it like a worm,
Right?
and it goes like across. It goes out of the house and it crawls across the road to this house party, and goes into the cooler, grabs a beer, brings it back,
Yeah.
and crawls it all the way to the guy's mouth. And the guy wakes up with the beer in his mouth, and it's like, have a beer. but like at the time, the CG was so good that it was so incredibly disturbing seeing this realistic tongue just like out of this guy's mouth and just crawling around on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, just shit like that.
I think some adverts I remember like, stand out to me.
Yeah.
We had like the gorilla one, which was like fucking
that was
like huge. And another one, I think it was ad for. Obviously, didn't do its job because I can't remember the product it was selling.
Yeah.
But I remember the advert itself because it had that song. Which was just like, and it looked like a pretentious film about surfers. Because there was this one surfer, and you just hear the song in the background. Like the announcer comes in, and he just goes, he waits. That's what he does. The perfect wave. Tick follows top, follows tick, follows top, follows tick. And it just fucking builds up and he finds that perfect wave. And I don't know why that advert just like sticks in my mind so much. I'm pretty sure it's a fucking beer advertisement. I want to watch it.
It sounds so avant-garde when you like describe it to me.
No, it was avant-garde.
I love like anti-drug commercials as well. Those are fun.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are always like insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course, we can forget that legendary ad. The one, it's an Irish ad with a car. It's like a drunk driving person.
Yeah.
The car topples over. And it's like 20 kilos.
Oh, yes.
This one?
I have seen that.
That one's like, whoa. Who thought of this one?
Oh,
Someone
God.
had a dark day at the office.
Yeah.
All right. I'm feeling like a tangent.
Okay, go
All right, I
on.
feel like go for the tangent.
Anime tropes we love to hate.
Here's the go.
That's not a trope, Joey.
It
That's
is now.
not a trope.
It is now.
High school.
How'd you guys...
Do we hate it?
I hate it. Yes, I do.
I
At the moment I see an anime now, and it's like, he's a normal high school. Like, Cyberpunk 2077, I nearly clocked out when he was in school. So I was like...
Do you mean Edge Runners?
Sorry, Edge Runners. Yeah, sorry, Edge Runners.
Yeah.
When he was in school, I was like, I swear to God, Cyberpunk, fucking in school. So of course he didn't leave school then.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
thank God. But like, I'm just so over anything with high school. I think I've said this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we feel? Because this is one of the things that's parodied the most, or like the over explanations when it comes to animals.
Oh, the Setsumushiyo.
And let's take JoJo and Baki out of this conversation. I feel
Right.
like those are so ridiculous. I need the explanations.
Yes, of course.
I need them.
So like you're talking about like say like in a sports anime, for example, where like as you know this like second by second play is happening.
Yeah.
Some guy in the fucking crowd has time to do a 3-minute explanation.
Or
What's
not
happening.
like in sports anime, or even like any shonen battle anime.
Yeah.
Fucking
I do
half
like-
of Hunter x Hunter
I
was
do
that.
like the Hunter x Hunter narration. Though. I don't
Yeah.
know, there's something about it.
It's
God realized he fucked up.
I don't know. I think it's just like so commonplace now where I just don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of lazy. I feel like if you make it interesting, you can convey all this information without needing to tell the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Show don't tell, right?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this because I think it's just something we've accepted that anime just fucking does.
Yeah.
You know, this is just a thing. We're gonna explain what's happening. And it's not only until like recently when we've just seen examples where it's been handled better than it has in the past. Like I think Jujutsu Kaisen has had a really good balance between showing what's happening versus like explaining what's happening. And I recently did like a video on like manga adaptations, and I've realized what difference it makes when you just take out the explanation, take out the explaining, and just show what's happening on screen. And it's just like, holy shit, this works so much better. It just takes so much more effort.
Yeah.
But so few anime actually go out and do it.
Yeah. And that's the problem, right? Is that like some of the best stories in manga and anime, don't require a whole lot of explanation or even dialogue to like tell you what's happening. Like like Bland, for example, right? Like that manga
Yeah.
has barely any dialogue at all,
Yeah.
but it's still coherent enough because it shows you every step of the way visually. And as long as you can like kind of put the pieces together as to like the sequence of what's happening, then it's fucking epic. But the problem is, as you said, it just takes more brain power to figure out what's happening because it's very much open to interpretation, right? So I think they're just like, yeah, maybe it is laziness. I don't know. Maybe the authors just have decided being like, well, I could show them, but at the same time, I'm afraid to alienate any readers into what exactly is happening, and it might, deter them from enjoying the rest of the story.
It comes from manga, right? So I think that's why you have to get this over explanation kind of approach to it.
Because you need it.
You
need it. You can't
Dude,
show it.
there's so many manga that are shown in manga that I really struggle to see what's going on in the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I the only person who has this problem?
No,
There are some fights where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening.
There are some manga that are better than others.
Sometimes I am looking at the battle and I'm reading the panels, like going over it 4 times, and I'm like, I still in my head cannot figure out what's happening.
You read Claymore, didn't you?
Yeah, I read all of Claymore. That was hard.
Holy shit! Because I've reread it like recently.
Yeah.
And that was almost fucking impossible to discern what's happening.
Especially
because
the later fights.
Yeah.
Because
right,
like in group fights, you have like all of these Claymore where all of them are like silver-haired women wearing the same fucking uniform, and I'm like, who is even fighting right now? I actually cannot tell who's swinging the sword.
Yeah.
it's that one was like hard.
But I think that's the thing, right? It's like it's all up to the different author on like their skill on being able to like show the flow of movement, right? Like the reason why like Berserk, for example, like Mira did such a good job on that is that like a lot of the fights don't really have an explanation, right?
Yeah.
And if there is an explanation, it's maybe like 1 or 2 frames, right?
Yeah.
But he was such a master.
Berserk was really easy to follow.
Yeah, because he was
what
such a
exactly is going on.
master at like figuring out the flow of movement and like where to show it. And how to show it, that it was just very self-explanatory, even in like big fights, right?
Claymore was hard to follow.
Yeah.
Even though the Claymore has amazing fucking art, like the monster design in Claymore is like incredible.
Yeah.
But the way the story went, because of how the story was structured around a group of people who basically look exactly the same and all dress exactly the same.
Yeah.
And have the same kind of weapons, just
I really
big
liked
swords.
the world of Claymore.
I really liked it.
Yeah, Claymore was great.
Cool
Yeah,
world.
it was a really cool. It was a really cool
I should
world.
check it out if you haven't.
Yeah.
It was quite good. Stopped.
The anime had a original ending. Remember when anime had like? Remember when the anime just went its own path and was gonna like, and was like, I'm gonna do my own. I'm gonna end it my own.
I don't
way.
think
to be
I
fair,
will.
The best part of Claymore anyway is the part up until like that's the
halfway point?
First half.
Yeah, the first half.
That's when
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Because there's no high school, so that's why.
What do you hate about high school?
Is there a single anime that's based in high school that is like, I can forgive this?
Yeah, like I mean, okay, there are a lot of shows where it makes a lot of sense, and I've gone on this rant before, and there's a lot of shows where I just feel like, if anything, it detracts from it. Like, obviously, like, you know, Light being a college student or a high school student as well, I have no qualms about that. It makes sense in the story. It you know, adds to the reason why you never suspect this character to be doing this stuff because he's a normal high school student. But there's other ones where I'm just like Tokyo Revengers. Do they really need to be high school students? Like, straight up. Like, that show is...
Actually, they were middle school students.
It's even worse. Like, I went on this whole rant when we talked about this before, but like, Tokyo Revengers was actually ruined for me. Because they are all middle school students. Like, it makes the show so much shitter. I don't understand why they did that.
But it's such an interesting dichotomy, isn't it? Because we say that about Tokyo Revengers, and yet we're okay with Hanayama from Baki being 14.
Baki
Isn't it? It's such a weird, like...
You guys have watched Baki, they're all high school students, but like, it's like, not even the main character's a high school student fighting like fully grown men.
Yeah.
It literally nothing in Baki makes any sense, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And also, he's literally never in school.
No.
He's a high school student. He's the worst high school student in Japan. He's never... How is that man not expelled? I don't like it. He is never at school. Where are the police? I just think... But then
do you think the police are going to stop him?
he talks to the fucking U.S. military at one point. I don't think it's an issue. I'm sorry if there's a... If in this world the U.S. military comes and talks to a high school student about, like, asking him to not fight because he's basically a weapon of mass destruction, I think all other normal rules go out the window.
So listen, your dad just talked to Obama the other day. We discussed this. Don't.
I think the series that, like... I think the series that jarred me the most in terms of, like, adding high school in it, this is a pretty old one, actually. It's Owari no Seraph. Seraph.
Yes.
Do you remember this? So, like,
I really like this show, but
I like the show as well. But like, so, like, I remember the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes, we are introduced to this, like, post-apocalyptic world where vampires are taken over and there's only, like, sects of humanity.
So sick.
Yeah.
And it's
Such a
a
cool
fucking
world.
amazing world. The main character wakes up and he's like, he finds out that he's just like food for the vampires. He has to escape and all this. And you're like, damn, this world's metal. He escapes, finds like the Freedom Squad, the revolutionaries, the last remaining humans. And then there's a fucking high school arc. And I'm just like, you're in a post-apocalyptic world, motherfucker. You have tried really fucking hard. You have to try really fucking hard
I completely forgot about that.
to like bring high school into this. But you've managed it somehow. And I don't know why you thought this was a good idea.
And it's so weird because later on they pretty much just drop that all anyway. So I don't like that was a show that I think that really like plagued it. Like, because it was, when it first came out, it was like really, especially the anime, like people were freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Because it just dropped after Attack on Titan, had a similar kind of edginess to it and vibe people were looking for. And I think it just, the high school kind of element ruined it.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of if like halfway through season 1 of Attack on Titan they just like go back to school.
Attack on Titan just realized it was like, let's just fucking make these children grow up.
Yeah.
Like, let's just actually have like a good fucking arc.
I would like for more stories to be set outside of high school, and I think we're slowly starting to see that. I don't know.
Or at least like if it's going to be in a high school, get it to the point where, you know, we get to see them once they're out of school or something, you know, like, or once they're like, you know, like Beastars did a really good job of that, where like it starts off in a school, but then the second half he's not in the school anymore, and he's like out in the real world, and like that, I think like balance is cool. I don't mind that.
A lot of people always argue that like it's more relatable to the target audience.
Yes.
And I'd say, what aspect of Jotaro do I relate to? Is him being a 17-year-old kid as a high school student? You know what I mean? Like, I feel this argument of it being more targeted is like,
but there's a reason why Josuke is the only JoJo that was in a high school.
Yeah, right.
Right. Like even fucking even Jotaro, right? Like even though he's a high school student, you never see him in the fucking school.
Like I find that they spend a lot of shows where they have a high school protagonist often spend no time in high school anyway. So what's the point of even bringing this up? And sometimes I find that kids aren't that fucking dumb. I feel like people think kids are so much more stupid than they are, that if it's just not the same, if they're not in the exact same situation, they can't relate or have some kind of tie to it. And it's like, yes, obviously, when I was in school and Harry Potter was going on, that was something I could relate to a lot more, and that was a banger. But it wasn't like I didn't want to watch 24 and Jack Bauer go around shooting people. You know what I mean? Like I find that kids want those other stories anyway. So stop saying that the only reason is because they're targeting high school students.
Well,
I find that they're not that dumb.
In the case with Japan, it goes both ways. It's the fact that yes, they're trying to target high school students who are currently in high school, where it's like, oh, this character I like is also in high school, I relate. But it's also targeted towards younger adults who have just come out of high school as well. Where, because to a lot of Japanese people, this idea of like in high school and being a student was kind of like a golden age, right? Of like,
that's the saddest thing.
Which is a really sad, but it's the truth. You know, like it's like yeah.
But I've got so much better when I left.
Which is weird, right? Because it's this. I'm pretty sure I talked about it before, but it's it's this weird like difference in between the West and Japan. Of like in Japan, high school is like a time where it's like I wish I was back there, and then in the West, high school's movies and stuff like that are always like, look how shit high school was. Can you relate, guys? Being an adult is so much better. And it's just this like weird dichotomy. So it's like, I get that sometimes they want to do it for that purpose, but I also do agree that a lot of the times they just throw it into a fucking high school because it's like, oh, that's an easy setting. I don't have to come up with like an original concept for a setting or a world.
Right? And then minus double points if it's in a school and then there's unnecessary lewdness all the time. Fan service. Where they're just like groping each other and you're like, what?
I mean, that's literally every ecchi manga and anime.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, most of that has been transferred over to the fantasy genre now. I think most,
for sure.
I think high school ecchi has. I don't know if it's gone out of favor.
It's run its course.
Yeah, I think it's run its course. Now it's just like
you can get way more degen. It's not. Well, it's not Earth.
Yeah, it's not Earth.
It's another world.
You know, high school doesn't have slimes running around.
You can't have slaves in high school. You can have that in another world.
Talking about tropes, I need to fucking die in anime. Every isekai having slaves, man.
What?
Fucking believe it. I'm an isekai fan. I'm like, that just needs to fucking.
There's a weird amount of slavery in anime.
I'm so fucking done with it, man. Like, okay, I get it. It's your fantasy world and a lot of like medieval stories. They had slaves in them, but also it's a fantasy world. It's what you're only limited by what your mind can imagine. And why does everyone imagine slavery in their world?
Can we have a fantasy world where everyone is equal? That would be nice.
Do we need to have a sit down? And what's going on? Like, why are we trying to bring this back?
It's just every new isekai I swear I watch now. It's just like, oh, there's the rescuing the slave arc. Is he going to free the slave this time, or is he going to take the slave under his own arms?
The slave is falling in love with their master
under the
again.
framing that he's a saving the slave. You know?
Fucking hell.
I mean, I'm white, so I don't want to talk too much about slavery, but a lot of the times it feels like, well, we got this character who's kind of just cool. How do we kind of make him more likable?
Yeah.
Let's get him to free some slaves.
Just give him a savior complex. It's fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's another tangent I want to go on. The most iconic scenes involving bathrooms and toilets in movies and TV shows.
What?
The most iconic scenes involving bathrooms and toilets in movies and TV shows. The only one I can think of is in fucking Trainspotting when he dives into the toilet to get the drugs.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, is there an iconic scene? Oh, and
there's something about Mary.
No.
I think I've seen that.
Have you not seen that movie?
One with the cum?
Yes.
He like jacks.
Explain.
He jacks off into the mirror before the date, right? Or he's jacking off before the date.
Was that something about Mary, or was that something else?
Something about Mary, I'm pretty sure, right?
Because
Still, right?
Yeah, it is. It's got Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, that's something about Mary, right? Is it? Can you Google this? Make sure.
Okay, there's two scenes.
There's two, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's the scene which I think like.
Wait, hold on. Explain the first scene. All I hear.
So I think Ben Stiller.
all I heard was he jacks off into the mirror.
He's having a date, and he wants to, because he might be getting some, so he wants to jack off before he goes out.
Okay.
So maybe he lasts a little longer.
Yeah.
And he comes, and he doesn't know where the cum went.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was behind his ear.
Yeah.
And when
I have seen this.
And then he meets
Yes.
Cameron Diaz at the door, and she's like, "Oh, you have some gel? I'll take that." And she takes it for some reason and puts it in.
Puts in her hair. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
There's an article.
There's an whole article about
Is
it.
it actually possible
It's-
for
it's
cum
an
to be
iconic.
good hair gel?
Breaking it down.
Yeah. But no, the scene I was thinking of, I don't know if this is still there's something about Mary. It might be something else, but
Yeah.
it's the zipper scene where I think it is Ben Stiller. He's pissing into her, and then he's just staring out the window, right? And he's just kind of like having like 1,000-yard stare or whatever, and then he realizes he's staring at the window of a girl getting changed or something like that. Right. And so he starts to panic. And then he zips up. And
It's 40-year-old virgin.
no, this isn't 40-year-old virgin. It's I'm pretty sure it's best.
So basically, he zips his schlong.
You say this scene to me, and I feel like it's Steve Carell in my mind. I don't know why. Like, why am I picturing 40-year-old virgin?
Maybe there's a Steve Carell scene as
Yeah,
well.
maybe there's a Steve Carell scene.
Maybe he's
But-
remade it.
Yeah, but it's
Paying
yeah.
homage.
Yeah, but it's iconic because even just describing that every man in the world, basically you hear him zip up.
Every man in the world winces.
He zips up and he screams, and then there's it's a fucking iconic scene. There's a scene where he asks for help, and basically every guy who's just like, okay, let me help you. they look at what has like what he's got himself into, and they're just like, yo, what the fuck, man, what the fuck? And the most fucked up thing is there's a shot where they actually show what has happened.
Oh
there's
my
a shot
God.
where the zipper is entangled with the skin, and it's just like for a second, and you're just, and that is now like become a core memory. That has become a core memory in my mind.
Oh, my balls just
and,
went.
and everyone who's watched that film.
I'm going to Google iconic bathroom scenes because now I'm drawing a blank.
The only other one I can think of is I forgot which Austin Powers film it is.
Oh no!
But there's that scene where he's inside the lair of Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
And he like runs into the bathroom, and as he's taking this like extremely long piss, the two henchmen are talking like some like secret talks or whatever.
Yeah.
But he can't hear him because the piss is so loud, so he stops to listen, and the henchman just like look at him really suddenly, and he just starts pissing. He's like, and he just does that on and off for like 5 minutes. That's the only other one I
There's
can
the
think of.
Home Alone one where he's getting changed and then he slaps his face and goes with the aftershave.
Oh,
There's that one.
Wait, what was that?
In Home Alone, when he's getting ready and then he applies the aftershave to his like bare skin.
Yeah.
And he screams because obviously it burns.
Yeah.
Because he's not a man yet.
Oh.
Fuck, I had my leg up and now all the blood's rushing back to my leg. I did find the scene you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
from Along Came Polly, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting those two mixed up. Yeah.
Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
Ben Stiller and iconic bathroom scenes, man. What can you say?
Also, there's The Shining. It's technically in a bathroom.
Oh,
yeah.
It's Johnny.
that is a bathroom
Oh
scene.
yeah. I haven't actually seen.
I
The Shining.
actually heard a really fun, I guess little factoid about that is that like the actress, I forgot her name, but you know how she's like fucking terrified and screaming?
Yeah.
That was apparently a genuine reaction because she didn't know that they were actually going to get a real axe and actually go through the door. So she's actually freaking out. in
Well,
that
Kubrick
scene.
was a fucking madman. you
Yeah.
know?
AKA asshole.
Yeah, AK dickhead,
He
yeah.
wasn't ass. He made amazing fucking movies, but hearing about some of the stories that happened on set in everyone in his films, I would hate to work for.
There was also that scene in The Shining that I think apparently took 127 takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah. And they made them redo it just so they can get mentally fatigued and actually fucking just crazy.
Yeah.
Because of how many times he asked them to redo the take and everything like
what
that.
an asshole.
And in A Clockwork Orange, where they had the scene where they propped up the eye.
Oh, yeah,
And he
yeah.
actually scratched his cornea or something like
Yeah.
that. And so when he's screaming, stop! He was actually screaming because...
Yeah, like it was legit.
Like he had
Yeah.
scratched his cornea and he was like screaming in pain. And Kubrick's like, nah.
Kubrick's like, keep rolling, keep rolling. This is great.
This is a good take.
This is a good film.
This is
I mean, way back when movies just were starting and becoming a big thing, and a lot of money was being put into it. Like a lot of people just died during filming stuff.
Yeah.
Like big scenes, like Colosseum scenes, or
Yeah.
like there's a Noah's Ark film where just a bunch of people died.
Well, there's that famous
filming
one
stuff.
of like, the never-ending story,
No.
It's like this fantasy film, The Never Ending Story, like really famous in the US. But there's this scene where like the kid is like pulling a horse through a swamp.
Yeah.
And the horse like slowly starts to like sink. Apparently that horse actually died.
Oh, bro,
in that
way
scene.
back in animals and movies,
Yeah.
they did not give a
That
fuck.
horse straight up died in that scene, and they cut it right before the horse actually like drowned and died. And I'm
my
just like, what the fuck?
That is depressing.
Yeah,
man.
it's super
Holy
depressing.
shit. Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is there was this Texas Chainsaw Massacre where there's a scene where
The first one.
I think it's the first one. There's a scene where because it was so hot where they were filming and the main murderer had to wear like the mask during filming and it was he was getting like heat stroke and he accidentally like there was a scene where he cuts like one of the girl's finger and he actually cut the finger. And she was screaming in real pain.
Oh, shit.
But he was so delirious that he like didn't know that he was actually cutting like a real finger.
Jesus.
And
Bloody hell.
just like the shit you can get away with, like back then. God, someone's getting a lawsuit nowadays, man. Holy
Far
shit!
out, dude.
I'm looking at more iconic bathrooms.
Yeah,
So-
Iconic bathroom.
What's some more iconic bathroom scenes?
Put iconic shitting scenes.
Again, going back to Austin Powers with the fat bastard, like sitting on the toilet, and he's like, "But I didn't have any
There
corn."
are so many iconic bathroom scenes
I
in Austin
mean-
Powers thinking about. Like that first scene when he wakes up and he's like de-thawed and he spends like ages on the urinal and it's just like
That's
about,
because Austin Powers is like the epitome of like pee-pee poo-poo jokes in film. It's like, that's why we love it.
I'm actually going to ChatGPT on 10 iconic scenes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
there's the
yeah.
one with Dumber and Dumber where they have the laxatives. He drinks laxatives, he starts shitting like
Oh, there's also that scene in White Chicks as well where he has the cheese accidentally.
crazy. Yeah.
I love that scene.
In-
God, White Chicks is a film that would not fly today. I'm just thinking about it. That would be a film that would be cancelled so fast.
Do you think
today.
Tropic Thunder could be made nowadays?
American Pie,
Hell
there's
no.
like so many. Like,
Oh
there's one
my
where he's like
God.
shaving his pubes,
Yeah.
and then he for some reason throws the pubes out the window, and they get blown into like one of the wedding venues. It's like stupid.
Oh my
Just
god.
every other scene in American Pie
Yeah,
is
it's
like
much
half. What happened to toilet humor? I remember when every other like comedy film had toilet humor in it, and now we're just like, oh, we're better than that. I'm like,
I don't know.
are we better than that? I don't think we are. I
Resource
don't,
music.
I don't think we are.
Because I still love that line in American Pie where it's like, I went to band camp and I played a trumpet with my pussy. Like, it's the dumbest line, but it's stuck with me for all these years.
Oh yeah, and he nuts in the sunscreen.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I love those movies, man.
What is the next AI-generated prompt, Gant? Let me know.
The weirdest food combinations people would actually enjoy.
Toast sandwiches.
Toast sandwich.
Well, this is kind of
Toast sandwich.
This is
Toast
kind of
sandwich.
similar to the last thing, I guess. But
Food
How
combination.
many more
right?
prompts do we have in there? Of curiosity.
we only have one more after this,
Oh.
actually.
Weird food combinations. Mayo and anything. It's pretty weird.
Japanese mayo.
Japanese mayo.
Japanese mayo. Just give me Japanese mayo, man. Keep me mayo. Just put that with anything.
The
It's
older I
fucking
get, the more I like mayo. I don't know why.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but the more I get
Wait, did you
older-
never like Cupid?
As a kid, I remember hating mayonnaise. I used to think it was disgusting. It looked vile as well.
Well, but I
Like,
mean,
UK mayo is.
yeah, I mean,
looks-
Western mayo is like different.
Yeah.
Bro, we have like the widest shade of white mayo. And it's
And
like,
isn't
it's
it like a little bit
normally,
more
like,
watery
jelly.
as
Yeah,
well? Yeah, I never liked that. Yeah, that one's gross.
For sure.
Yeah, Japanese mayo all the
Japanese
way.
mayo's
What about adding cheese? What does cheese not work with?
good. Okay.
Huh?
What audience suggests?
What did cheese
No.
not
I
work with?
Because I asked this because growing up, okay, well, there was a big separation for me between like let's say Western food and Asian cuisine, and the concept of like adding cheese to like a lot of like Thai cuisine and like Asian cuisine, I was just like, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
But then I discovered Korean cuisine that does that. And I'm like, oh, maybe this can work. maybe we need to think about this a bit more.
Yeah.
You know, because
Same with like
Cheese
cheese.
is like a crutch for food, I think, because like, not for at least for foods that are bad can be made more edible with cheese on them because cheese is so good at overpowering anything else it's combined
Yeah.
with.
Right.
And I find that normally it's, at least in Japan and stuff, the cheaper the food, the more chance there'll be cheese involved.
yeah.
That's
just
true.
because they're like,